Hello, and welcome to tonight's performance of Unexpected Arrivals, episode 26. We've been rehearsing all week, and we can't wait to share with you what we've come up with. So,
I'm glad that our tradition of extremely organic and normal openers is just like keeping right on steady.
without further ado, is there anything for me to read in the setup and intro thing?
The same stuff that there always is to read.
No, you crossed out a whole bunch of it. I'm not.
Yeah, the things that you're not supposed to read in the first place.
All right. Well, I did most of this already. So, again, welcome. Thank you for attending this video performance. Very good. Tickets to next week's performance are available at the same URL at the same time, 7:30. My mother is calling. She's trying to get tickets. The tickets office
production values through the roof.
Yeah. The ticket office is closed from 7:30 to midnight, which is when the performance happens each week. For the rest of that, you can call me at 555-55555. All right, so big shout out to Roll20 for sponsoring us and making all this craziness happen. We could not do it without you, as we are very happily using Roll20.net online. Check it out if you haven't already. It's a good time. I promise someday we'll have a battle map. All right. So, also, check out the website, rollitslant.com. We've got all of our various publications listed there. Reflectionist is at a painful 999 copies sold.
Whoa.
It needs just one more copy before we get to an arbitrary number that means nothing, because you don't get promoted to the next medal until like 1,006 or so. So... but it will be 1,000 in my heart, and
it will make us feel better.
My pocketbook. Cool. So check all that out. Lots of great blog entries there. Someday we will create another blog entry, but alas, that day is not today either. Today is for but one thing: thanking the people that make our free music. Kevin MacLeod and Adrian Von Ziegler. Thank you guys. We enjoy your music, and again, thank you to Michaela Scott at Jubilucky on Twitter for the art. It is great, even though we're slowly killing off all the characters in it.
All?
Even though one of the characters is the only one to die from it.
Two more. Too late, you said it.
All right, Cool. The Astral Plane is a metaphor for death. All right, let's start the recap. The song that I had playing in the background is called Lost Time. I figured that would be appropriate for the intro. So let's go from here into, let's go into Intrepid. Maybe that's, I have no idea what any of these are anymore.
Oh, I don't have Roll20 open.
I'll wait.
I'm missing all the music. I appreciate that. It really makes me feel included.
It does. Cool.
So it seems awfully quiet.
It does seem awfully quiet.
There we go.
I've got no.
There we go.
You quite finished now, Dora?
No.
No?
I'm quite certain I'll come up with something else annoying to do before the night is over.
Can you selectively mute people on Zoom calls? Does anyone know how to do that? Asking for
I think you've done it once.
So, last time, not much happened. So, last time, the party found themselves in Ves-Ular, which is kind of a secondary city in the Dracoran Empire. They were sent there to meet their mage friend Karut, who had urgent news for them. They decided to keep secret the staff of the elders that had recently come back into their possession, and they still have on them a powerful ancient artifact, which they spent a large portion of this campaign getting, and it has mysteriously come back into their hands. For better or worse, who knows? It fits in the bag of holding, so that's where it will stay for now. Or is it?
Oh.
So, upon taking some time, the party then went off to meet with Karut, who shared several bits of information with them on the first wave of reconnaissance on the island nation of Eridor, a place where all of these characters started. Not all of them, actually. Some of them. Most of them. Yeah.
Right now we're down to
I
3.
guess that is still more than 50%.
3, yes.
Really technically 2.
Well, I mean, Tebern was an error. At any
I
rate,
was an
we continue
Eridor.
the recap.
I know.
So, where at the very beginning of the campaign, levels 1 through 7 or 8 or something like that, they proceeded to destroy the entire nation and create a lich.
We didn't stop the creation of a lich. I feel like that's an important nuance.
At any rate, they seek to go back and right the wrongs which they have created. And in doing so, restoring balance to the worlds. However, they learned that Eridor itself is undergoing changes from when they last saw it, as Kendra and Akira were able to join the Encircle, a powerful group of divinists from the Empire, and astral project to Eridor itself, which they found a land unfamiliar to how previous memories of Eridor were. Fertile land, overcome with nature, the Fey realms bleeding through, the land flooded with mysterious magical waters that seemed to be restoring things to life, although in shifted, mutated forms in many ways. They found a body that seemed to be having its essence drained down into the waters itself, into the land itself. They also had an encounter with the stag, a creature they've now seen several times attached to the land of Eridor, whom, quickly realizing their intrusion, even through astral projection, gave chase as they fled towards the city of Romont itself to see if they could find anything information-wise. They slammed into a magical barrier and fell. Upon falling, one of the Encircle, the powerful divinists holding the group there in the Astral Plane, fell, collapsed, and was gored by the stag chasing them, coming out of the astral trance. The other two, in a moment of selfless bravery, Akira left the group returning back as Kendra was separated to go help Kendra. However, the group of divinists whom the party had been warned were more interested in their own motives than the well-being of those around them, have begun to transfer their conscience back. In doing so, will strand Akira and Kendra on the Astral Plane. What does that mean? We'll find out in just a moment, because that's not the only thing that was going on. While this ritual was happening deep underneath the Bremeraldi School of Divination and Abjuration, now accepting applications for the winter semester, the other party members guarded these astrally projecting group and heard crashing noises, scraping noises from further down into the archives themselves. And upon cursory investigation, tepid at best, but investigation nonetheless, they discovered that there were several bodies behind a large metallic door that seemed to have been opened. They tripped upwards of 3 traps, all arcane in nature, around the various areas, but decided to retreat back into the chamber where this astral projection ritual was taking place so as to protect their compatriots. However, one of the compatriots falling from the trance was immediately sacred flamed as they registered as undead. We will explore that more in a moment. Did I miss anything?
And I missed everything. What?
Fair enough. So, we find ourselves back into the story.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to the story. So, those of you who have been projected into Eridor, you find the others joining hands where Akira had broken their circle, looking down at the one of them that has fallen now unconscious on the ground. There, they join hands, and you watch as their forms just slowly disapparate into this grayish white mist.
Are they gone yet?
They are gone.
Okay.
And
Well.
as that happens, you look over at Akira. Akira, you look back at Kendra. In a moment's pause to think about your impending plight, and then all of the environment around you begins to swirl and fade. Like it all dissolves into this misty smoke. And as it does, it fades darker and darker until it becomes this great sort of silvery sea around you. Same above as it is below you, with these swirling wisps, white and gray streaks along motes of distant, sparkling light like stars, just surrounded in every way. There's no up, no down, just this vast, empty expanse before you. You can see each other, but that's about it.
And our silvery wisps things are still intact?
You do see that Kendra does have her silvery wisp behind, and you also infer that yours is there as well.
Just building the tension.
I'd like to think about being right beside Kendra and taking Kendra's hands.
All right. You think about it, and you begin to move very slowly towards Kendra.
I start to
Thinking about
paddle
this-
in the other direction.
All right. Your paddling results in no movement.
So I think harder until I move so she can't get away from me.
Well, she's not moving, so you weren't that far apart to start with. So you do eventually catch up towards each other.
The paddling grows more frantic.
Stop trying to move. Look, the way that you have to move here is you have to think about it.
But I've never done that before.
Well, you now need to use your brain. So,
Oh no.
we need our top priority is keeping these things connected. Okay? They're gone, we're gone. Got it? Good.
Got it.
All right,
So,
now what do we
how
do?
Okay. I slowly rotate upside down.
Are you thinking about it though? Because if you're not thinking about it, it's not happening.
You don't,
Subconsciously.
you don't know. I don't tell you.
This is all I have planned for today.
That's all you're gonna need.
The rest of the session is just gonna be the buddy cop movie of Akira and Kendra in the Astral Plane.
Yep.
This is a spin-off series starting Tuesdays. Kendra and Akira go astral. Tune in.
Oh
Um,
boy.
So what would you two who are now marooned in the purgatory that is the astral plane like to do?
I would like to try and recall, as Akira, anything that I've read about this in the past, because I'm sure I've read something at some point, because, planes, they're exciting.
Let's make intelligence check.
All right. Intelligence. Intelligence. There it is. 17.
All right. You have indeed sort of engaged in some cursory reading about the astral plane itself. You know that it is a plane that exists and interacts almost exclusively through mental capacities. Your ability to move is driven by your ability to think and will yourself into new places. There is a very nebulous sense of direction here. However, the astral plane is coveted for one reason specifically. It is a gateway to all other planes. And the ways to get to these other planes are shimmering colored pools of light. Though not abundant, these pools of light are portals to various planes. You can find portals to any of the other planes in the astral plane. You also know that you likely are not alone in the astral plane. There are creatures that call the astral plane its home. And there are other stranger things in the astral plane. There are pieces of rock and debris. There's been tales of petrified corpses of gods that just float and drift through. All manner of things, both diminutive and substantial in scale, exist on the astral plane.
All right. So we cannot linger here forever. We need to get back.
Okay, that's good. I didn't want to.
You also know that you can actually linger here forever because you do not age or require food or drink or sleep on the astral plane. You could literally be here for the rest of time and exist.
But it's
in the
dangerous.
nothingness.
Here you
Until
are
something
doing
comes and kills you. Yes.
We can't be here because it's dangerous. And our friends are back in the real time, and we don't want years to pass. And who the hell knows what will happen without us there. I mean,
Roswell will probably kill someone.
I don't know about that, but so look for these pools of light. That is our way out of here.
I want to look for these pools of light because that's our way out of here.
All right. I'm going to need you to make an intelligence investigation check, please.
So an investigation check.
Yes.
9.
Oh, we're never leaving.
Nope.
There are various lights off in the distance. It's hard to know if they're pools of colored light. None of them seem particularly further or closer, or just seem like different things that you can vaguely see out in the horizon. Although, as you are very carefully scouring the horizon, and horizon is probably an incorrect term because there is no, like, separation of up or down. These little points of light that you notice begin to rapidly darken as this silver gray sky goes deeper and deeper, as if it becomes this dark, moonless night surrounding you. And as it darkens, you feel this sort of like shaking and trembling to the matter and existence around you, as if the plane itself is kind of struggling with forces. And all of a sudden, both of you have this feeling of washing over you with this sort of force moving across, a psychic wind of sorts, made up of lost memories and forgotten ideas, minor mental musings, and all of your sort of subconscious fears that have been floating astray into the astral plane. I need both of you to make intelligence saving throws, please.
Be intelligent. Be intelligent.
That's not gonna happen for me.
6. Oh boy.
Yeah.
6.
Does Akira, just out of interest, does Akira have the highest intelligence in the party?
She
No.
does.
Wait,
she
do I?
does. Mm-hmm.
Well, my intelligence is an 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine's really high. It's a 15.
Oh yeah.
This is not good. Okay.
All right. So, as this sort of strange psychic wind pushes through, you can feel it just sort of permeating through into your mind. You just have all these flashes of memories of your past. They're jumbled and disjointed, and it's very jarring, very disorienting. So, for both of you, what do you see in these memories?
That's 5 minutes.
I see Numerius's last moments, and before that, I see the troubling time we had in getting the elemental staff, and being alone.
Kendra, what do you see?
I see this. I see the stag charging at me from the astral plane, and then I see like the chronological events that led up to that, like in reverse.
And it just repeats again and again and again. Need you to both roll a d20 for me, please.
My favorite.
Represent years you're
Something
gone.
random.
Hmm.
9.
All right. And then I need you to roll a d100 for me, please, Akira.
Oh God. 100, you say?
Yeah. And you were a 10, Kendra?
Yeah.
I would also need you to roll a d100, Kendra.
23.
All right. I will whisper to each of you what is beginning to happen.
Not gonna work. I'm just gonna turn up the sound. I'll hear it.
Okay.
She's leaning on our shoulders.
Yeah, it's unhearable whisper.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what was that place called where we spent most of our time getting that elemental wand? Does that
You're gonna have to
really-
be more
Glittering
specific.
bearings.
No, the actual temple.
The gem spiral descent.
No.
The temple.
The
The
Temple,
Temple of the
Elders.
Elders.
There we go.
You know, the Elder Temple. What was your roll, Beth?
42. You can't get a better roll than that when you're in.
Wait, where are these whispers?
Oh,
coming
this
That
from?
is the
good.
answer. That is the answer to life.
Oh
universe.
no.
Oh no.
Okay, that's me right now.
Holly has lost her mind.
Wait, you're.
That's Akira.
I have a concern.
Just wait
Sorry.
till they find like their
Oh,
friend
no.
dead and your body's not dead.
All right, so this lasts for 7 minutes.
Imagine 7 minutes of screaming and laughing and crying all at the same time. That's what you get.
I need to know what that sounds like.
I did it. I just did it. You do it for 7 minutes?
Yeah. This is the quality content.
I don't
we're
think I
here.
really need that source of an experience.
So you see Akira succumbing to seeming like a short-term madness effect.
Called mania, but yes.
Yes.
And Kindra starts to rabble and babble on and on and on and on and on and on.
All right. So we'll leave those two to their plight at the moment. The rest of you, sort of clambering off down the hallway, has quieted for a moment. Two of
Hear
you
that?
sort of poised at the door, Roswell slightly inside, looking down at the now slightly smoking body, as you see the light in kind of the pool begin to fade a little bit, and it appears like the other three of the Encircle are like coming out of this trance. They're not like fully out of it yet, but they are coming out of it.
Looking down at what I've done to this body, would I recognize that I probably did the wrong thing?
As the others start to come out, you see both Akira and Kindra's bodies like sort of crumple down and collapse in a similar way.
Oh,
Get him! Get him!
Tevin is at this point. I had cast invisibility at the end of last session, so he
Yeah,
still
it is
has.
expired. It doesn't last a week.
So nobody sees this, but as soon as they crumple, you like after a moment you see like Kindra's body moving as if somebody had picked her up, because Tebrin like kind of gets and like lifts her head up off the floor and like puts her head in his lap immediately, but he hasn't dispelled the invisibility. And he's like checking her over and like checking for a pulse.
So the corpses are becoming animate, is what you're telling us?
Yeah, so the corpse just sort of
Fantastic.
oddly moves and is slumped over and begins being dragged away a little bit. Make a medicine check for me.
me?
No,
Me.
because she said she was
Okay.
examining for pulses and stuff. That ain't something Tebrin's trained to do.
Nope, sure isn't. That's a 6.
Stop checking.
The
with
body
a
is
dagger.
still warm, but you don't find any other signs that it's alive that you can tell.
You hear Tebrin's voice in utter panic just yelling Roswell's name from the
Ah,
general direction of Kindra's body.
Okay. I run over and I'm like trying to check her eyes and like is she breathing? Like what kind of signs am I getting?
Looking at her eyes, there's this kind of very like the eyes are closed, but if you kind of like open
Yeah.
it, the pupils are unresponsive. She's definitely breathing. It's very easy
What a
to tell.
sound effect.
She's definitely alive, just appears completely limp and unresponsive.
Okay. I'm gonna try but she doesn't seem like and all
Undead?
the times I've seen my party go down and go unconscious. Does this seem similar to that?
She definitely does not seem conscious.
Okay. And I'm looking at, and the other people are rousing around us.
Well, it depends on what turns you on.
Not a rouse.
You said they're arousing around us. Well, I mean, if Dragonborn are your thing, then
Not really.
okay. I mean, you're writing a fanfic, so I
Racist.
didn't know.
Oh, it's not mine. Anyway, so
They are beginning to. Akira is not.
right.
But the one that you sacred flamed does actually appear now to be moving similarly, as their hands that were sort of held out now kind of lower, and they begin to kind of open their eyes, as if waking from a deep sleep.
What? So I go over to one of the ones that recently awoke, not the one I burned, because that's awkward. And I'm like, why aren't they waking up too?
Unfortunately, we were separated. They are adrift in the astral plane.
So you bring them back.
That's no longer possible. We told them to stay together, and alas, they fled from us when we were returning. We were assailed by some sort of creature.
So you just so you've got nothing you can do for them to bring them back, to help bring them back. Like, how can we do this? How can we bring them back? You can't tell me this is the first time you've lost someone out there.
They knew the risks going in. There's no way for
Oh
us
my
to
God.
reestablish the
So
link
you
to
so
them.
you do this perfect every single time. Everybody comes back.
There's a reason that we train our lives to do this. Those who suffer
So
mishaps,
you brought
and there
novices with
have
you?
there have been in the past those who have run into complications. But I do feel we have learned a great deal. And their sacrifice will likely bear fruit in the coming days as we plan what to do with the nation across the sea.
I'm really goddamn tired of my friends being the thing that has to die in order to bear fruit. And
Not
like it is still like Kibrin
technically
is still like
dead.
holding Kendra.
Your friends aren't dead. They're adrift, lost at sea, if you will. Sea is
That's
the
not
astral
better.
plane.
So you're just incompetent and can't bring anyone back.
The
Is that what
the
I'm
half
hearing?
orc kind of wakes and sort of steps up alongside the older man that you were talking to. I'd mind your tongue if I were you.
Then I would appreciate, kind sir, if you could be a little more helpful in this regard.
There is nothing more that we can do.
Is there
Our
not?
connection was broken. If they are as industrious as you perhaps give them faith to be, then they will find their way back.
So no one in the history of time has ever brought someone back from the astral plane.
I'm sure it's possible. It is beyond my capability.
Well, let's work on it together now, shall we?
We have pressing matters to attend to. We must relay the information that we've learned. Those were our instructions. The Emperor awaits our knowledge.
So you can't even point me in a direction?
Towards the astral plane?
Towards any help or anything that we can do? You're just going to let them be adrift to people that could be helpful in this whole situation? You're just going to let them string out there?
They were informed of the risks when we left. They're no longer our responsibilities. If you want to help them, then perhaps you should spend your time studying the subject and learning the ways of arcane magic.
Well, Professor? Let's see.
There's a rigorous screening process for this school. I'm afraid you would likely not be accepted. Perhaps
You know-
something of divine nature might be more the speed at which your brain will process.
Oh, so divine
That's great. I hope the thing in the hallway eats all of you.
Oh yeah, we're being attacked too, FYI. We're no problem keeping you safe right now.
As you say that, the other two sort of immediately cast the spell, and you can see this shield go up around them, and they kind of look. One of them closes their eyes and begins casting something, and there's quiet pause for a second. And then you hear somewhat different sounds. You hear some shouting voices that are kind of distorted in the echoes at first, and then becoming clearer. You hear Karut sort of yelling out, seemingly giving orders. a bit more authoritatively than you kind of remember him being. And within another 10 seconds or so, Karut kind of appears in the door there. There are several guards beside him as he kind of turns and looks inside. What's going on down here? We've had all sorts of breaches across the entire school.
Great. And Tebrin finally dispels invisibility. And...
Suppose I'll now not stand in the doorway and let them in.
And he's just kind of like, he has kind of like shifted Kendra into his lap and is just kind of holding her.
Go investigate down there. I'll be with you in a second. The guards sort of head off. You're welcome to join them if you would like. They apparently need more help than is able to be provided at this moment. You two escort the rest of the Encircle back to safety. Somebody has staged a fairly coordinated strike at various parts. We're alerted to all of it a bit later than we would have liked, as some of our main forms of wards were temporarily distracted through astral projection. They knew exactly when to strike. And what's the status here? I see that 2 have not returned from the astral plane.
The 3.
The other guy did get up.
What? The one that got killed?
Yeah, he looks like he's been sacred flamed, but
You know what? Not feeling bad about that anymore.
Wait a minute. So that guy didn't die in the astral plane? I misunderstood completely.
he did die in the astral plane.
He hasn't got a soul anymore, huh?
All right. Well, what do I know?
He gets he does get back up. He is sort of singed with radiant energy and kind of dusts himself off. The female high elf steps forward. There was a creature there, a stag that somehow saw us even through the curtain of astral projection and gave chase, somehow able to manifest through boundaries of planes. It's quite fascinating. We fled trying to gain any information on Romont, but Romont seems to be warded even to astral projection. We struck the ward during our flight, and several of us fell to the ground, although we quickly reunited, and the Dragonborn broke the circle and rushed off, whilst the sorcerer teleported away. Had they just simply stayed together, we would all be back now. But
So you're saying they just did this arbitrarily?
Those of weak mind tend to panic in these situations.
Yeah, you're not answering my question. You're deflecting.
We were under attack. All we needed to do was join, circle again, and return back. We would have been safe. They fled. One looked perhaps ready to fight, which is foolhardy. I don't know what their motivations are, but they clearly had no resolve to return and are adrift on the astral plane and are no longer our concern. Karut sort of takes a step forward. Well, it sounds like there's a bit more to this, which we can unravel later, but the details of which I don't think will change our current situation. As of right now, we need to secure the area and watch over their bodies. If they are in the astral plane, hope is not lost. It is not a death sentence, though, from the little I know, is perhaps going to be a harrowing experience.
Tippin just looks like furious beyond words. And also, I think at this point is still covered in blood.
Yes. So, those of you in the astral plane.
So Kendra has started to rotate faster and faster, and is still continuing to babble about nonsense until 7 minutes are up.
All right. So, these effects begin to fade as you sort of come back and realize that you literally kind of digress into this mania from this kind of passing psychic wind that has flown through, and find yourself now returned to your senses but aware of one of the dangers of this area. What would you like to do now?
Excellent question.
Oh, look for the colored pools. I was muted.
All right. Give me an investigation roll, please.
Anything I have that will help here.
That'd be a 4.
All right. Looking around, the darkness that sort of consumed and masked all the light has passed, but you do kind of off in the distance can see various other areas. It's almost like sort of storm clouds that move by fairly fast along with the wind that travel through and around in these areas. Doesn't seem to be anything that jumps out at you. Your mind's still a bit reeling from the effects of the psychic storm. You're not really sure. Neither of you are sure.
I will think about moving my hand out as to take Kendra's hand and wait for her to grab my hand.
So Kendra not really getting the hang of this whole floating moving thing. I'm gonna cast creation and form like a crystal circular floor beneath me. That is how I can be 5 foot by 5 foot.
What are you doing?
Or I'm creating a crystal circular floor beneath me, approximately 5 foot.
But why?
So I can move, and then I want to like take a step, almost like I'm on like a circular treadmill, and think about moving in that direction.
All right.
Or you could just grab my hand.
Make an intelligence check for me.
Oh, all right. Okay, we're making it. We're rolling it.
All right. Much like the cast of the original staging of Les Miserables, you begin to walk around your thing as the turntable kind of rotates beneath you. You do feel that you are walking. Akira, Kindra does not move relative to you, but does appear to be walking in place.
Nice.
Look, you have to think about moving, and then you move.
But I am moving.
Technically, you're moving your legs. Yeah, sure. but you're not actually traveling through the plane. You're just taking steps.
I want to think really hard about it.
How about you just take my hands?
All right.
No.
Please hold my hand.
As you focus more, this motion kind of, you do step and everything seems to begin to move. The rate at which you kind of perceive your motion relative to the little that you can discern around you is different than the speed of your steps, which is a little disconcerting, but it is movement nonetheless. And you do see, as you go very slowly through this, you do see Akira kind of go up a little bit ahead of you and like keep talking, and she's clearly able to navigate around at a faster speed than you are, whereas you thinking very hard, you're able to keep this very sort of slow, methodical pace despite how fast you walk.
I really don't know why you don't want to take my hand that badly, but all right, we'll do this slow and steady wins the race, I guess. So I've
Exactly.
read. Never really done it, but I've read about it. So,
Oh, also, what I remember.
Both get fireballed.
great. It's exactly what we need.
All right. So, you continue on like this for some time, and eventually you sort of see kind of off to your right a bit, and coming from a bit above you, you see a large kind of circular rock, broken, almost sort of like an asteroidish in shape, although not nearly that large. Just sort of coming in very slowly, rotating. You can't tell whether it's moving towards you or you're moving towards it, or maybe you're both moving together. It's very difficult to discern the motion, but after another 15 minutes or so, you, in watching this and thinking about it and trying to discern, kind of adopt the same motion of it as you start to rotate along with it, and thus it ceases to move in your perspective. Lessons in relative motion here. And you see sitting on what is now the top of it, a male humanoid figure who is looking down, sort of sitting cross-legged with sort of this ashen gray skin, matted shoulder-length black hair, dressed in a very kind of tattered tunic, all of this dark gray cloth, and it's trimmed in this silvery, though incredibly worn suede. In his belt, you see there's this narrow bladed sword, almost too thin to be a sword, but you can sort of see the blade itself. It looks extremely sharp, and it's glowing with this very sort of shimmery silver light. Looking down, you can see that his ankles seem wrapped oddly in this leather, and as you get a little bit closer, you notice that his ankles are actually wrapped in the upper parts of boots that's bottoms have seemed to like just completely been broken down and fallen off. As you get in and sort of slow your approach, he does kind of look up slowly at you, a little bit head cocked to the sides and inquisitively. You can see that the left side of his face, his neck, and then his body sort of down into his arm, is the skin itself is distorted and seems almost brittle, as if it was seared with some sort of tremendous heat or energy from some time long ago, and has healed over but is still kind of deeply scarred. And you can see, as you kind of move to adjust your view a little bit more, he sort of goes to stand, and he kind of turns and kind of favors that side that looks like it was injured and stands. And you can see on his back there's these two kind of ghastly flightless wings that look like they're made of this kind of like textured, almost scaly like bone. And the left one is kind of seems broken and dislocated almost, and hangs just like a little bit lower, and they kind of fold up in back behind him and sort of disappear from your view as you stand about 30 feet away from him, just there. And you can tell he's like kind of muttering to himself under his breath, and he kind of looks up at you and then looks down at the ground, and then from a pocket sort of in his tunic pulls out this golden coin, and he kind of like looks at it and then flips it, and it just kind of goes up in the air and then like comes around in a circle around his hand, and then he catches it and he looks at it, and then he closes his hand and he looks back up at you. Hello.
Hello. What's your name?
Quietly the wind extinguishes.
Yes, that's a long name.
That is not my name.
What's your name?
Quietly the wind extinguishes.
Pleased to meet you.
Granal.
I'm a tree wiggles in the mist.
O'Shea. My name is Ma Granal.
How long have you been here? Actually, that probably isn't a question you can answer since...
Just passing through. Okay, bye.
We're
Keep
just...
walking.
No.
I feel like Akira was raised with the concept of stranger danger. And Kendra grew up on a walled estate.
If he's trapped here, then maybe we can all work together. Akira.
I don't think he's.
What if it was you
know.
trapped on a rock in the astral plane babbling to yourself with broken boots, huh? You'd want people to help you.
Gone for a lifetime. What's happened in an instant?
Some cleric you are.
Okay, I'm gonna reach for Kendra's hand now.
And he sort of
Good to see you.
looks back at you again, and then sort of goes back into that pocket and takes out the coin again and sort of like rubs over it and then flips it. It does the same sort of flip up and around his hand and then lands back, and he looks at it for a moment and then closes his hand and puts it back into his pouch, and then kind of just glides down sort of off his perch on this rock, so he's now kind of level with you, not looking aggressively. You see he stands about sort of normal height for a person, kind of like extends his arms out. With blessed arms I greet thee. And then he kind of like takes his arms around himself.
Hi. We're trying to get out of here. Do you know how to do that? Probably not. But
I've
maybe
already told you, Kendra. Just look for the pools of light.
Pools of light.
Have you seen the pools of light?
There are pools everywhere.
Yep, we
He
just have
sort
to
of
keep
like
moving.
gestures. Which pool do you search for?
We want to go back to the material plane.
Yes. I once
Yes.
lived in the material plane.
Maybe we could all go back.
Maybe he doesn't want to go back, Kendra.
Well, let's find out by asking him, huh?
And he kind of like closes his eyes and like winces a little bit, and then looks up, and you notice that same darkening effect happens as he kind of winces. I need you guys to make intelligence saving throws.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna be more intelligent this time.
No, you're not. See?
Fucking 6.
Excellent.
Great.
Let's,
Good. Love
let's
it.
give me some d20 rolls here.
Oh, D20.
D20 first, and then we get into other tables.
13.
All right.
A lucky number right here.
12. How can we keep rolling like 1 and 2 away from each other?
All right.
What is happening?
We're in the astral plane now.
So, Beth, you rolled a 13.
I did.
I need you to roll 4d10 for me, and then Akira, I need you to roll 2d10 for me.
Jesus.
18 for both of us.
All right, congratulations. You both take 18 points of psychic damage.
Oh, yay.
And you can tell he sort of winces again as you all seem to have this just terrible sort of migraine-esque pain. Worshipped troubled the silver skies, shays the breeze.
Uh-huh.
You seek the silver portals.
Oh, silver, you say? Does this
Silver is the material.
seem like I mean, maybe I read something about different colors meaning different things or something. Do I remember this being like recall it?
Crescendo the gases, forgetful. And then he like looks up at you again and reaches into his pocket and kind of pulls out the golden coin and strokes it once, then flips it. It goes up, sort of circles around his hand, and he catches it. And rubs over it, and then looks back at you, and then slowly tucks it back into his breast pocket. Hope affluent. It was hurled, defeated from the skies. The silver portal is what you seek, silver of the material. Shay, follow me. I shall take you to the silver portal.
If you know that silver is material, why haven't you gone back home to the material plane?
Gone for a lifetime. That's what happened in an instant.
Right. Most things happen in an instant. But yeah. Do I remember silver being the material plane?
Make an intelligence check. At disadvantage, because you just had your mind scrambled.
What am I doing? Sorry.
The immersion is so real!
God, I'm gonna be that good one day.
I just heard
That was-
disadvantage. So I can't remember what roll you told me to make.
This is, it's intelligence.
Beautifully role played.
Man.
I'm being serious. I don't remember what you told me to roll.
Intelligence.
Intelligence, please.
Thank you. 11.
All right, that is just enough. You do recall, now that he's kind of said it, that that silver is indeed. There are a great many planes, but you do kind of, it distinctly sticks out in your mind because you're sort of like gold dragon and silver is sort of like, not quite as good.
It's true.
Because
Gold is better.
you do know that gold takes you to Mount Celestia, which is sort of like the highest of the good planes.
I wonder if what's his face is there.
We could go to Mount Celestia and bring him back.
No,
They would be real pleased with us then.
no,
Maybe.
you ruined that one already.
What do you mean? I saved his life.
Yeah, he is now a mortal instead of immortal.
Right.
So
but
I don't think you
all of the other ones are dead and he's alive. So therefore I saved his life.
The merits of a gift can only be weighed in the hands of its recipient.
Exactly. And he would agree with me because I said it.
He doesn't know you.
Hope affluent is hurled from the skies.
Why do you
know.
keep saying that?
he like reaches in and like takes the coin out and rubs it, and as he does, like his laughter starts subsiding, and he like flips it again, circles around his hand, lands. He kind of strokes it.
Kendra,
and
this is
looks
why
up
we
at
have
both
to
of
get
you
out of
and then
here.
Sort of sticks it back in as he kind of glides up closer towards you. I cannot remember where it is I need to go.
Oh, well, that's kind of sad.
Well, why don't you come with us and we can find it together?
He sort of looks at both of you. Make a persuasion roll.
Does
I'm
he have
gonna-
a silvery thread like us?
Make an investigation check.
20.
Now we roll okay. 16.
Oh, I didn't roll okay. I just have plus 10 to my...
Looking around, he does not have a silver thread that you can see. He kind of looks at you, Kendra, and just sort of nods and then kind of extends his arms out. With blessed arms, I greet thee. Shay, take me to the portal, and I will follow.
Who is a Shay? Or is that what you're saying? Shay?
Just sort of looks at you and then gestures at
Oh.
Kendra.
Okay. Let's go. And I start walking on my crystal platform.
All right. It's
And
kind
I
of like
wanna-
watching somebody moonwalk going forward. It's very
I
slow,
wanna
isn't
I
it?
wanna think really hard about a silver portal.
All right. You continue moving away as Akira. Do you follow them?
Yeah, but kind of wearily at first, and then I catch up with them. But I don't want to be with this stranger. I mean, it's sad that he's lost, but yeah, he's kind of weird.
You're kind of weird, Akira.
He doesn't have a silver thread.
So, if we'd lost our silver threads, you would want somebody to still come for us, right?
Well, you wouldn't be here if you didn't have a silver thread. So how is
Appar-
he here?
Well,
He
apparently,
is not. There's something wrong with him. He is something else.
well, I believe in the best in people.
I since when?
So
I swear- I swear.
back in the archives, the guards kind of clamber off, going, Wellesley, did you follow them? Wallesley, sorry. Or did you hang out by the door? I think.
I hung out at the door.
Okay.
His tone implied that I was not going to be good. So I was just like, yeah, okay, I guess I won't.
The encircle is kind of led out unless you guys have anything else you need them for.
Apparently not.
Have
No, we're fine with them. They can go.
Is this the first time Wallesley's seeing Karut?
No, you guys literally just had a meeting.
We went to his
Okay.
office.
So
Like an hour ago. Actually, no, it was like 3. You actually you have been drinking quite a bit since then.
So I'm like, yeah, Mr. Karut there.
Just Karut is fine.
What's the enemy that has attacked you guys? Is it just other humans? Is there is it creatures? I don't know what you guys do in this tower. Did you release something?
There's no sort of creatures as you refer to here, at least none put here by our doing, as far as I know.
Or that you'd admit to? I know how they work.
The previous altercations have been other people, yes. It appears that someone within our organization helped aid whatever this process is. I don't know the full scale of it, but anyone who was looked like they would be apprehended met a very untimely end.
Are they Choran citizens, or are they some sort of foreign power?
It's difficult to know. I have not seen any of them
They
personally.
don't have branding?
They were not branded in any way. They
Oh.
seemed at least dressed as citizens of the Empire. They have left a small trail of bodies in their wake. Some of them seemingly drained of life, drained of their essence. It's
Bless you, Tebrin.
Thank you.
a bit unsettling and not something I've seen before. Some form of necromancy, perhaps. But I'm glad that you're all, well, I'm glad that some percentage of you are safe and the others are not dead.
That's the real sunny side up way of looking at things there, Kroot.
Well, you could all be dead.
No, I'm not critiquing. I'm pointing out that how bleak things are, that's the sunny side.
Right. Well, I'm afraid that if they've come this way past and they sealed the door behind them magically, appears that looks over at Tebrin. One of you tripped the ward on the inside.
Yep.
Turns out that the the doors open magically in response to the key, and it was actually quite ingenious, really. Whoever's behind this obviously has some knowledge of the workings. They simply put a ward on the door and then dispelled the magic that opens it. The guards couldn't open it because the magic was dispelled. When I arrived, I simply tried pulling on the door, and it then eventually did open.
You're welcome.
Were
So
there any,
here we
like,
are.
Black feathers and nail clippings and weird stuff around?
None that I've found. Why do you ask?
Oh, because remember that bastard that we told you that disintegrated Demarius?
I do remember, yes.
He was a bird thing and a magpie, if you will, and there were a ton of like feathers and like nail clippings around, and
Gross.
it was really gross.
That seems disgusting, for sure. Perhaps, he looks back, well, we can't leave them like this. I can arrange for them to be brought somewhere and kept under guard, or if you'd like, you can bring them with us, but I need to keep moving and track down the extent of what this breach has done. I would appreciate your help, as the guards here are good but single-minded in purpose, I find. He sort of like gives them a nod, kind of rolls his eyes a little bit. They just like nod back at him like he gave them a compliment.
Quick question. Where is Siora in all of this?
She is with all of you.
Okay. And how does she seem to be reacting to the fact that her sister has become a vegetable?
She's quieter than she normally is, although you don't get a sense that there's a ton of love lost there anymore.
Okay. That was kind of what I figured. So I'm just going to ignore that situation. I'm going to scoop Kendra up and like visibly tamping down on anger, just like closes his eyes for a second, takes a deep breath, and then turns to Karut, says, I am at your service, but I would like to put Kendra someplace safe first.
Like, can we even move them? Their dream spirits need to find their way home, right?
I think that their links are still intact, and honestly, I don't know. At this point, it seems that Kendra has already been moved, so,
Aren't they like soaking wet too?
yes, they both did fall into the pool, so they are dripping wet.
Well, I was like, can you help me with Akira?
There's just the blood in the water is just like sloughing off different.
Halsey will check his
It's
strength
like he
levels
suddenly
first.
realizes that he's drenched in
It's
blood.
an
He's
average
like,
one. Okay, I'll help.
I should also. And then he like frees a hand and like snaps his fingers and like prestidigitates himself clean.
You take the shoulders. I'll take these claws down here. I'll the talons.
I'm
All right.
180 pounds. Good luck.
I put Kendra's tail over my shoulder.
Akira's.
Oh yeah, I meant to say Akira.
You notice that
That's a
Kendra has a
different kind of
tail
tail.
right now.
I know.
That's a sharp barb. Yeah, it's different.
I am actually a lion in this moment.
Next campaign, we pick names that are nowhere near similar. How's that?
Kira and
Sure.
Kendra
Kendra
Okay, I
and
did it
Akira
last
are
session.
basically just anagrams.
they're nowhere near each other.
They are.
Oh.
They both
They're
have an
kind
A
of-
at the end. That's about it.
And they got a
Kendra,
K.
Akira, they're pretty similar.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we should move them somewhere safe. Is anywhere safe in here, Karut? Did this come from the inside? This is really weird.
I will let you know when we get to the bottom of it. It appears things have subsided, or at least reports have stopped coming in of other intrusions. Whatever it was, it happened fairly quickly and very coordinated. I would speculate that whatever it is over, and we didn't respond in time. As far as
So we just
somewhere
need to figure out what damage was done.
Yes, as far as somewhere safe, anywhere upstairs, at least well populated now with guards. Some of the other arcanists are now out and about, and we'll be keeping an eye on things. I would trust them to be mindful.
Are you under the impression that the enemy has withdrawn already?
That is my best guess. With what and why, I don't know. I fear that the archives themselves may have been the primary target, which is right this way.
One thing at a time. Let's get these two someplace safe. And then we'll...
Perhaps use my makeshift office, and I'll have one of the arcanists and a handful of guards mind them, make sure they're checked in on regularly. He sort of heads out back upstairs. The other guards kind of awkwardly see if they can go in to help carry Akira, and then kind of just shrug their shoulders and just kind of walk beside you with the intent that if you need help, they'll help you. But
I'd like to think there's 4 of us, all.
Each one has a limb.
One has a tail out. Akira's just like this.
I can do this very well.
So you go up the stairs and head back into that sort of larger conference room, and Karut just sort of motions at the table. Perhaps this is as best as we can do for now. Kind of starts rolling up some of the scrolls and kind of tucking them off to the side. I mean, if Akira wakes up, there's plenty of books here, so we know she won't run off.
Maybe you can hey, sit by her side and hold her hand to tether her back. Does that work like that?
I think you're misunderstanding some aspect of this.
Oh, I just thought it might help.
Shepard is giving Roswell a really weird look.
The fan fiction comes out to play.
I look at Walsley.
What do you do?
Oh, you know. Anyway,
Tebrin will lay down Kendra and kind of do his best to arrange things so that she's comfortable, and then kind of resettle himself and run a hand through his hair and... All right, well, point me in the right direction, I guess. I'm at your service.
He kind of motions back down. Sura turns to Tebrin and says, I'll stay here and keep an eye on them.
All right. Turns and goes in the direction that Karut indicated.
All right. And back down the stairs you go, sort of past the room that you were in before for the ritual, and making your way down to that hallway where you sort of had ventured up to but not past. It looks like the magical darkness that was there has been dispelled or faded. And you can see at the end these 2 large metallic doors. One of them is sort of open, so that there's maybe a foot crack in beside. The braziers on either side are still kind of washing everything in this warm orangish yellow light, and you see that there are 2 bodies there, and it looks like sort of bloody drag marks into the room. The other guards that Karut had sent on ahead are kind of all stationed tactically at the end of this hall, just sort of watching. Shall we?
Yep.
Karut just sort of touches his chest, and you can see the shimmer of mage armor go up as he begins to walk forward.
Just for you?
I will.
Do you want any questions answered before? Wait a minute. Are we going back in there to fight whatever attacked? What?
I don't think we know. We're investigating.
We're investigating.
Was my impression.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
there may very well be something in here that I don't know what's inside, but
We'll
I'm
be fine.
eager to find out.
We've dealt with worse. And Tebrin kind of looses his sword and his scabbard and falls in behind Karut, beside Karut.
All right.
Ready?
Come at me, come at me.
Nah.
Got a lever in the back, and if you get the right one,
All right, Rock'em Sock'em Walsley. So, as you head in, all of the lights in this room seem to be out, and Karut, after breaking through the thresholds, starts a little incantation and then sort of lights 2 torches in the room, and you can see the room itself on either side. It's the whole room is maybe about 20 feet by 40 feet or so, and there are 2 columns in the middle that go all the way floor to ceiling. It is fairly ornately carved, but everything is very, very heavy, and you can see that the sort of drawers on either side, and then there's these alcoves that are kind of every 3 or 4 feet or so that have little pedestals, and everything is in cases, and all the cases appear to be locked. And you can see on the ground that there appear to be some of these cases that have been tossed and seemingly broken. Some of them look like they've been just shattered into many pieces. You can see that the drag marks pull in towards where this first kind of central column is, and they stop, and where you would think the body would lie, there's just like this puddle of gore and blood that just seems like the whole body had been sort of like liquefied and just kind of exploded out onto the floor in a nice little splat.
Gross.
And Karut sort of looks down at that and just sort of looks up at you, Roswell. Is this something you're familiar with?
I mean, I don't think I've done that to someone. But I would like to figure it out. All right, I'm gonna cast guidance on myself, and I would like to investigate. Well, or would it be trying to figure out what kind of check? Like, I want to like see if I can sense like what kind of necromancy or has done this.
What liquefied the human being?
Yeah, like and maybe that quickly.
Make a wisdom arcana check.
Okay.
simultaneously, I would like to take a listen check to see if the predator is still here and waiting and giggling in the darkness.
All right, investigation roll, please.
So let's see. I'm also proficient in Arcana, so am I going to add? What was
So
like
wisdom plus your proficiency bonus.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to roll.
Investigation or perception?
If you're listening specifically for an evildoer, it's investigation.
That's a 24. Hang on.
18.
One S4. What? That still rolled?
Yes, you got one of the S's that's 4.
1d4.
Roll20, full of amazing features.
Yes. All right.
That's better.
So that would be a 28.
All right. So you kind of.
Oh, wait a minute. My
26.
26. My proficiency is 5. Sorry. So I'm proficient in Arcana, so it's 27. So that's 31.
That's like me level rolling.
Uh-huh.
All right, we'll get to that in a moment. Walsley, as you take a sort of couple steps in, Karut kind of keeping pace with whoever the furthest forward amongst you, he lights up the 2 torches in the back half of the room, and light washes over. There's no other entrances or exits that you can see, just these sort of shelves and alcoves that go all the way around to the back of this rectangular room. And you listen, and you hear a very faint sort of like moaning noise, like some sort of person in pain or injured.
And that is locatable, or?
Yeah, it's coming from the back of the room. It appears likely from where you are. The only place you can't really see is behind that like sort of backmost pillar.
So I'll definitely, whoever stands to my direct left and right, tap their arm and point over at the pillar, and then I'll just go.
And Karut sort of looks at you and then kind of motions with his head.
I will begin quietly creeping towards said pillar.
All right. Make a stealth roll, please.
'Cause I'm a creep.
I'm a weirdo. What
17. God.
Yeah, God, I hate it. I roll a 2 and get a 17 on stealth.
Yeah, but I rolled a 2.
That's disgusting.
All right. As you slink forward, Walsley, are you kind of going on the other side up along with this?
What's the point of having a plus 15 if you can't get stupid
It was only
high rolls
40
off
foot,
of it?
this room.
Yeah, it's
My
pretty
movement
small.
covers the room. I'm gonna stay near the entrance until if they try to escape.
Okay. And so, Tebrin, you kind of sneak your way forward. Karut kind of spreads out off to one side, kind of opposite where you are, Walsley, and you can tell he's just sort of ready to cast something. As you crest past the edge, just so you can see, you see the what looks like the body of the other guard. It looks like his legs have been torn off, and there's just this big hole in his chest that has the same sort of decay going, and he's just sort of like very faintly clutching at his chest, and he just sort of like looks up at you, and then like his hand starts to dissolve, and he just sort of like collapses onto the ground. And it looks like there's like sort of this crater in his chest, like in the whole chest cavity. That
I'm gonna cast a healing word, I guess.
all right. Go
Which
ahead.
feels a little bit like proffering a magical band-aid when
it's
your
like-
arm's missing.
It's like putting a Q-tip into a gunshot wound.
But I guess I'm gonna sink my last level 3 spell slot into that.
Okay, go ahead and roll for healing.
Delicious. 10. And so I think like the pillar is like blocking the view of everybody else somewhat, so you just like see Tebrin like very quietly like come around the side and then just like jump a foot in the air and yelp fuck, and you see like magic, like the kind of like normal like purplish glow of his magic like kind of like arc out from him.
And then those of you who couldn't see before now see this body. Tebrin, you do look up, and as he is like has this kind of like contorted, strained look on his face, his eyes kind of like wide open. As you cast the spell, his eyes do sort of like shut, and his face relaxes a little bit as he hits the ground.
So is he just dead? Did I just ease his passing moments with
well,
my third level spell slot?
As he falls down, you notice that there are virtually no organs left in his body.
Oh, okay.
It's all just sort of a puddle out and around. While all this is going on, Ms. Roswell investigating the shit out of the stuff. Looking in closely at it, it appears that all of the life force and all of that sort of the essence that keeps things alive and useful has been just completely drained out of whatever you're guessing this was a corpse, because there is sort of the armor is still kind of left strewn, although soaked in all this stuff, and it looks like it's just been completely dissolved, almost as if the essence of whatever was there was just removed, and there was no life force left to hold together the remaining sort of blood and guts, so it just sort of gooily coagulated and imploded on itself. So this is sort of like what you surmise as what is left when something is just drained so completely and thoroughly of life force.
Does this seem
It seems
like
necromantic in nature, in that it has obviously definite ties to sort of death and all of that, but there's something like there's something profoundly like arcane about it, in a way that's almost like part of you is almost like, well, that's kind of interesting that it doesn't look like all of the biology in the flesh and any of that, like, it wasn't wounded. It was very specifically drained to take all of the energy from it.
And when you say energy, does it kind of seem like soul at the same time? Like, are we talking kind of very similar, like from what Roswell would know, concepts of like life energy equaling soul? Like,
yes. So, not to get too like pseudo-religious, pseudo-science at the same time, since you are proficient in Arcana, the sort of weave of magic through which arcane magic is formed is sort of like woven through everything, and exists in all manner of matter. However, in living things, there's a substantial amount more of this weave of magic, and some may believe that is actually sort of a result of there being a soul. Some might say it's like the cart before the horse, chicken before the egg. Like, is it because you have a soul that this magic is here? Is this magic here? And that creates a soul because the magic is there? You don't really know. But whatever that soul essence, that very pure form of arcane energy, has been systematically drained from this body.
because I know similar things that I don't use often, like vampiric touch, or like, is it kind of tapping into that kind of a
very much so, but in a much more effective way. Like, you wouldn't be able to, even if you vampiric touched something all the way until it died, you wouldn't be able to suck nearly a small fraction of its actual energy potential out of it. This appears to have just, like, got it all.
So one more, well, there's many questions, but one more question probably for this investigation that I've done. Does it seem like someone is doing this to eat and feed themselves, or to gain more power? Would I know that? Like, the differences between...
You... Looking around sort of as you're kind of like piecing this together in this investigation, you do see this other body has fallen, but that other body is not completely consumed in the way that this is. And there are two bodies outside that aren't really, they just appear like they've been killed. And it seems a little bit odd to you that if something really wanted to like gorge themselves and feed on this, like, that doesn't strike you as a creature that would be like, okay, I'm done with one of these. Like, that's fine. I don't want to eat anymore.
Right.
So you're getting the sense that it was used for something, and they used all of one thing before they started on the next thing, and they got most of the way through the next thing before they stopped.
Okay.
Like, somebody was using these as a resource.
Right. Oh, like a battery. Kind of. Not quite. Is there any difference between the two bodies outside that haven't been liquefied and like are they all guards?
They were all guards, yes.
Okay.
And you can tell that by the sort of remnants of the armor. And all
okay. So kind of like these two inside were used to maybe get at what was in these boxes and cases?
It's definitely a conceivable hypothesis.
Okay. That is my hypothesis right now that I say out loud.
Kurt just sort of furrows his brow for a moment and then sort of diverts his attention to all the boxes. They are all sealed with very powerful magic. These locks aren't pickable by any conventional craft. You need some sort of arcane. It would take a tremendous amount of energy to do so.
Crew, imagine what they could do with you. I'm serious. I'm not being moral. No, I'm just saying, if they're tapping into these guards that aren't super practiced in the arcane as you are, you have more arcane energy flowing through you.
Tebrin looks vaguely ill.
What could they do to you?
Terrifying
Would
point.
rather not reflect on that. Thanks.
I guess it is best for all of us that I was not here.
Yeah. I mean, they would have opened everything, right? I mean, no, I mean, and you would be gone. That's terrible. This all coming out wrong. We're starting to get along, and this is weird.
It's all right, Roswell. Just relax, and we'll
Cool.
be objective about this investigation.
Totally objective.
There's a pool of blood. Is there any footsteps that lead away or something?
I was also
make
curious.
a survival check to see if you can
I was
find
also
any
curious if there
tracks.
was.
I'm actually asking out loud, and I'm not assuming I could see them.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering if there's any sign
Nothing
of,
obvious.
of where they were going, like, because there was all these alcoves, right? Is there any sign of what alcove they might have gone to? Is there an empty alcove? Does the empty alcove happen to be staff shaped?
All right, so going around, and so there are some of the drawers have been sort of like pulled out and are still kind of just ajar. There are some cases that have been thrown on the ground and look like they've been opened. And so going through all of the cases, there is one that looks basically identical to the case that you were brought, and it is open and empty.
And that's the only one that's like that?
Going through, you do see that there is sort of a larger sort of square box that's open and kind of looks like it's been discarded, and you can see there's just a faint like greenish glow coming from inside of it, and you sort of right it, and you see inside there's this basically bowling ball sized sphere that's just shimmering and glowing, and on it there's sort of three sort of dragons. It looks like the whole thing's made of crystal that just sort of all swirl together around it and glow. You see there's another case that looks like it's been completely smashed, and in it there appear to be these bottles, which themselves are made of glass, but they don't appear to like they've been damaged at all, and each of them has an individual lock, and they have just different shades of this sort of whitish clear liquid in them. And then turning sort of heading around, you kind of brush some of the debris off, and you see sitting there kind of very neatly about a briefcase sized thing that looks like it has a glass top that had been pulled open, and you see this sort of greenish velvety material, and on top of it are 13 ivory cards laid out, fanned out, with the back faced up.
No thanks.
Do it. Do it.
No,
Do it.
absolutely not.
Do it, you fucking wuss.
Self-preservation is not being a wuss.
Yeah, and
Wouldn't mind
so
taking
looking
that
around,
dragon
there are a there's probably, I don't know, half a dozen other things that have been opened, but you don't see anything else that's missing.
So what was in that?
Karut turns and looks and kind of spins the case around and reads the label on the back. Well, fuck. This was, of course, the staff of the elders. You may remember it.
Yes, vividly.
Nope.
Glad, so glad. We put it where it was going to be safe.
Well, took a
What
great deal of effort to get in here. There is some solace, as this one is a decoy, so I can assume that the other is still safe.
A decoy?
We weren't foolish enough to put the actual staff in the most obvious hiding place possible.
Wise of you.
Daff, you say?
Well, I guess it's reassuring to know that the actual staff is still safe.
Well, I don't know of its location. It was those of us in charge of moving one of them were not informed of the other one for obvious reasons, and only several knew which one was genuine. In fact, I don't even know if this one was, now that I think of it. Perhaps they told both of us that they were both the decoys. That would be what I would do.
Hey, aren't you a wizard from this place?
I am indeed a wizard from the Bermeraldi school, yes.
What about that crystal thing? That dragon ball? That dragon ball. Use the dragon ball.
We kind
Exhibit
of,
Z.
Take a look to see who was here or where they went or what they were. Don't you do that?
I believe this is sort of writes it and looks, and you can kind of see like staring in it, kind of like shimmers and glows, and there's these little like almost like geometric flower like designs on the sphere itself that the dragons are kind of like all like hugging out around. He just kind of looks at it, and for a second it just sort of like shimmers, and he just sort of like stares into it, and it appears that he's just kind of like lost in thought for a moment, and he kind of I'm sorry, what were you asking?
Where did you go there?
I was just admiring this artifact. I've never actually seen anything like this before.
You kind of zoned out there for a minute.
Is there a label on that one too? Labeled for clarity.
Yes, it is.
I
labeled.
also don't want to stare into the depths of it. I want to kind of edge around and just see if I can see what it's called.
It is the Orb of Dragonkind.
Okay. I'm just gonna like use my foot to like close it.
See in there. Did you see?
It was just a tremendous amount of energy there. It's an artifact left. It was given by the gods to the mortal races, or so the stories say. The end of the Drake-forged era. It was designed to hasten the defeat of the dragons and assert final victory for mortal kind, and it did its job. I don't know exactly what it does, but it's
a lot of dust down here.
Yeah, it is very infrequent, but it lures dragons to its location, and then, as far as I know, aids you in defeating them somehow. It's basically a trap.
All I heard was, blah, 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 this won't help us.
Well, hang on. Are there any dragons left?
Roswell, we saw dragons.
Well, no, like...
Oh, I guess you didn't see dragons. I saw dragons.
No, we saw... I mean, we fought a dragon. I guess I meant to say the kind of dragons that this orb would bring.
You got a different
Like the
crystal ball?
godly dragons of the Drake-forged era.
I mean, I don't know what exactly was in the Shadowfell, but it didn't... I mean, fighting that white dragon was bad, and I almost died, and I hated every second of it, but the shadow dragons that I saw were definitely worse.
Okay. I don't know. It just seems like it'd be kind of a cool thing to plop down in the middle of Eridor. If that's beside the point.
See if we can just get some dragons to fight our battles.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's better than any other plan we've come up with so far, so...
Reading sort of through the stuff, Karut does go over, and there's this sort of velvet pouch of navy blue, and he kind of pulls it up. There's another sort of sphere in it, and he opens it up and kind of unfurls it back, and it's just this literally crystal ball. And he says, "There is a crystal ball here, if you..."
No, I can't use it. You're a wizard. That's what I'm saying. Figure out who was here, what they did. where they went?
Do you just keep... Is this a decoy? Do you just keep ordinary crystal balls in here? Wait a minute. Are you so cliche that a divination school literally has crystal balls?
I mean, crystal balls are one of the most effective arcane foci.
Really? Okay. I mean, usually I just talk to my god. That's fine, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. Oh, it sounded really judgy. Again, I'm really sorry. Trying to repair things.
You're doing a wonderful job.
I'm not. You're lying. I have a really good insight.
Sort of goes over to the one of the alcoves that has sort of like a little pedestal and kind of sets it back up on there. I suppose I could do my best to use it to scry.
Oh, hey, can you find our dream friends in that thing?
I suppose it's worth a shot. I'm going to guess they're on the Astral Plane somewhere.
Well, you guys said that word 12 times. I assume so as well. I don't know what that is.
Oh, I could actually send them something. I totally forgot.
Silly me.
I mean, there's a small chance it won't work, but it's pretty small. I want to cast sending to Akira and say
It goes multiplanarly?
it has a 5% chance that the message doesn't arrive. The target's on a different plane.
So roll a d20.
Okay.
I just had an idea.
It's not a 1.
All right. Well, I would have expended it anyway, clearly, but so hey, how are you gonna should have thought your bodies are safe. We're trying to figure this out, but there's a lot of other stuff going on. You got this.
Send.
You can reply to this message.
I just realized I have nothing helpful to give them.
There's a little like poop emoji at the end of it.
That message was the equivalent of a poop emoji, basically. Like,
so Akira, you do hear this message as you guys head off trying to find a silver pool.
Is this the one I can reply to or no?
yes, you can.
Okay, we're with some weirdo named
Kendra.
what is his name? Margranal. He's strange and he doesn't have a silver cord. Thanks, bye.
Send.
Best is helpful. Poop emoji. She sends me it's an eggplant.
Clerics.
Can I try something?
You can certainly try something.
Hey, Akira, if this works, say hi from me and an eggplant
What?
emoji.
Oh,
Hold on.
I
Wait,
want
huh?
oh.
I banish Akira.
All right, I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh.
It's charisma, right?
It's charisma.
Link it.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck's sake.
All
Akira.
right, the spell fails.
Akira. Oh wait, hold on.
Is that something you could willingly save from fail
she,
though?
I didn't give her a
Yes,
warning,
it is.
so Akira,
Oh.
let this happen, okay?
Wait, what? No, hold on.
Just trust
We
me.
can
You have to
talk
trust me.
before you do
No,
something.
no, we can't. We can't
You
talk.
can't
No,
just
I'm gonna send you
do
back.
actions.
I'm gonna send you back to the material plane, okay?
No.
Why not?
No, hold on.
That's what we want.
Wait a second.
Waiting.
If this even works, you would then be here alone.
No, I
And-
wouldn't. I have more granol.
Yeah. Stranger, don't know him.
I didn't know you.
Bats.
I didn't know you at one point.
Yes, but we know each other a little bit more better than that guy.
After working together, right? And me and Morganol, we've got a thing going on.
You don't know.
You're third wheeling, really.
No, look, we should not separate any further than we already have. We need to stay together. We need to get to the silver portal together. Don't banish me or send me or put me somewhere different from you.
Can't you like call on your god for help?
Well, or we could just travel through this.
I feel like now's a good time. I feel like if ever there was a good time to get your god to help, it's when we're trapped in the astral plane, floating through nothingness with our friend Morganol by our side.
You don't know if he's our friend. He's lost. He doesn't know why
Well, then look, you two call on your god when you've lost your fucking cleric items, and when you need a friend, and you won't call on him now, and we're lost in the astral plane.
I'm not saying no. I'm just saying don't send me somewhere.
Well then, I need results, Akira.
Just wait. Just chill out for a second.
You've got like 6 seconds for banishing somebody.
No, don't banish me. If you banish anyone, banish him. We don't know who he is.
He's Morganol.
Yes,
And
but we don't
Morganol
know
was
him.
released back onto
And
the material plane.
as wise Morganol
the
once
plague of
said,
death that followed.
hope
As a
afterward.
disembodied spirit.
So
Anyway. Please transition scene so we can think about this.
what do you mean? Just say, oh great God in the sky, please get me out of the astral plane. I don't like it here. I want to go home.
Just hold on a sec and let's think about this.
What is there to think about?
Marganol has stopped and he's just like watching the tennis match back and forth, and you can tell he's like, he gets a little bit anxious and he just reaches into his pocket and pulls out the coin and does the same sort of ritual with it, and as it flips, it lands, and Kendra, you can see, you look over, it lands on heads, and he like looks at you, and then he just spends the rest of the conversation looking at you.
It's okay, Morganol. We'll be. It's okay.
Kira, that makes you the tail.
Strangely, I hear in my head someone making a joke about my tail.
Just ask your god for help, Kira. Come on.
Okay, fine. But like, just I don't feel comfortable doing anything with him here. I mean, what is this coin business about?
He's clearly using it as a device for comfort because he's been trapped here so long and he wants to get out like we do.
I think if he wanted to get out, he could. He knows which portal is the material plane.
Do you think it's that easy? You just,
Yeah.
He sort of nods. Worship troubled the silver skies, shade the breeze.
See,
Exactly.
he keeps repeating the same thing over and over again.
Because he's been trapped here for probably a long time. So let's,
Maybe
not be
someone
that-
trapped him here.
When hope
Yes,
is affluent,
maybe it's the
hurled
Dragonborn that
defeated
won't
from the
get us out.
skies.
Just please, don't make me start calling on your god again. That didn't go so well last time.
I don't remember you saying anything about my goddess.
They're all sort of the same, right?
No.
All right. Puck, are you out there? Can you, get me out of this mess?
Who?
Not. My boy, Robin, the androgynous tree boy.
Oh no, we don't need him over here, okay? Please.
Why not?
We have one weirdo. We don't need a second.
Well then, call on your god. I'm losing my shit here. And I start walking in a circle around my crystal platform.
Okay.
Just an absolutely crack team of professionals.
What is there to think about? Please, what do you...
If I do it and she helps me, I don't want her to bring him. I mean, I don't know him.
What the fuck?
Okay, right. If he's like an evil douchebag and he comes back, there's like 40 of us. We can probably take him.
40? There's not 40 of us. Okay, I'm just gonna...
Where are you getting the
just-
extra, 35?
Well, we're in the school of Brimroldi magic. There's probably a couple of people there, right?
I don't know. I mean, I think we traveled here with 4 of them and they left us here to die. So,
Right.
what do you want from
So
them?
you want to leave him here to die?
Well,
So
he's
you're like
trapped
them.
here.
Right. So we should get him out.
No, we don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Okay. What
No,
what if
I-
some people stumbled on us and like, wow, these people are fucking crazy. They just keep arguing with each other. And this one could talk to a god, and won't talk to a god for some reason. They've been trapped here. We should just leave them here forever. Wouldn't that
What?
feel a bit shitty?
As
Well-
you're arguing, neither of you notice the skies darkening around you again. I need
Wait,
you.
I thought we were already crazy.
Yeah. That awkward moment when you try to use madness effects to like re-steer your party on course.
Alright,
I'm gonna
okay.
need you both to make intelligence shaving throws.
Well, if there's one thing that this party can always be relied on, it's that we can and will argue for 20 minutes.
Oh God.
That'd be a 3 with a natural 1.
All right. Kendra, you are successful. Kira, you are not. So just
Clearly.
continue on. You're already mad.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. I need a d20, please.
All right.
Some of these are gonna be so good.
Let's see. 14.
I need you to roll 4d10 for me.
Oh, Jesus. 4.
4d10, yes. All right. you
And
take
that'd be 21.
21 points of psychic damage as this sort of wincing pain silences you for a few moments.
I have a question. Whenever we do use spells, does it seem like we're expending slots?
You are indeed expending spell slots the
Okay.
same way you would.
Aren't
on
they
the material
free
plate.
here?
I just didn't know, you know?
I would just like some unlimited 7th level spells.
So
So-
seeing
No.
seeing Akira wins. Look, Akira. If we die here, we're pretty fucked, right? So you're, if we keep getting hit by that like you are, at some point you're gonna die. So we need to get going fast. And if you're not gonna do something, I need to banish you so you don't die.
No, don't banish me.
Well then,
I'm going to heal
get to it.
myself now. Stop talking. I need to concentrate. I don't need you banishing me to some other plane without you. So you can be up here lost with some
well,
person that keeps
you're not helping me get
ranting
out
on
right now.
madly. Anyway, I'm gonna heal myself now.
Okay.
Okay. Are you good?
Nope, still in the astral plane.
Margravel
No.
has just sort of like crossed his arms now. He just sort of
Look.
leans in towards you, Kendra, and she wonders why I'm still here.
I know, right? She's fucking crazy.
Okay, maybe I
She's
should
got a
leave you
tail,
two
isn't that
alone.
fucking weird, right?
Anyway,
So-
Gone
I'll
for
just
a
heal
lifetime.
myself then.
It feels like it.
That was all for me.
Okay.
And no
Fine.
healing for
Stay
you.
away.
Akira, please,
Right.
just call on your god. What? Okay, let's talk through this. What are you
Nope,
worried
I don't
about?
want to talk to you.
All right, those of
I'm
you
banishing.
off.
All right, hold on. I'm heightened banishing her. She's gone.
All right, make
Make
a
your charisma saving throw. at
charisma saving
disadvantage.
throw at disadvantage.
You're out.
17.
And bend luck, I think. Wait, let me see. What's my save DC? Oh, wait, no, I don't need to. She's just gone. And I'm gonna wait the whole 1 minute, and we'll see what happens.
All right. As you're like, wait, don't banish me. You wait the minute.
In real time.
She doesn't come back. All right. We will take our break there.
And she doesn't anyway.
Well, you wouldn't do anything.
All
I
right.
was going to do it.
So 5 minutes. We'll be back to see if Akira is back. or not.
Ugh.
The rest of you still in the Bremeraldi archives. We'll see you all in 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh. I
Everybody
was
take your
going
5
to-
minutes and make it feel like more than that.
We can do that.
Why are
And we're back. Hi, everybody. Oh, don't worry, nothing productive happened during break either. All right. Well, since I don't know who to go to, I'm just gonna. Odd is Astral Plane, even is not. All right, back to the Astral Plane we go. I rolled a 7. So. A minute passes, and Akira does not return. Akira,
Okay.
you awaken kind of stiff with a sore back, and you look up and you see a ceiling of granite and a small, somewhat austere but still expensive looking chandelier above you. You kind of roll over to your right and see a bunch of piled sort of scrolls and books. And over to your left, you see Siora kind of sitting at the table that you now look down to see that you're on, and she's kind of like picking dirt out of her nails and hasn't noticed that you're awakened yet. And you see Kendra's body on the other side of you, sort of in between you and Siora, sitting at the table. And the door is shut. And you do recognize this room as the conference room that you were in previously.
What the motherfucking... She banished me!
Welcome back. Who banished you?
Your sister,
From
of
where?
course. I told her not to do it, not to separate us. Now she's in the freaking the astral plane, and she's
You
with
left
some
her there
weirdo.
all by herself?
She banished me.
Well, can't you just resist that sort of thing?
I tried because she didn't tell me. She was like, "Hey, I'm gonna try this." Bam, and I resisted, and then I was trying to tell her not to separate us, and bam, she freaking banished me because I wouldn't talk to my goddess on her time instead of my time because we were with some weirdo. Now she's there alone.
Siora
with
just
some
sort of like
guy.
slumps back into her seat. Well, I'm glad you're back. The others are downstairs, I believe. So is Kendra due to arrive soon, you think?
No, she's just wandering around with some weirdo guy that keeps flipping a coin and looking at heads and tails, and then he's being mysterious and he doesn't have no silver cord. And I need to talk to somebody that knows something. Like, who's around?
Like I said, the rest of them are downstairs. One of the guards can probably bring you there. I was left to make sure you're fine, and it doesn't appear that anything has changed your demeanor. So, glad that you're back and that you're safe and fine.
One of these days, your sister's gonna get real hurt. And it might be from me.
You're going to have to wait in line for that one, but, hopefully she'll come back.
Why does she have to make things so complicated? Are you here? Okay here by yourself?
I am wonderful, thank you.
Okay. You know how to reach me. And I'm gonna walk out to find the others.
The guards sort of both turn as you kind of stick your head out. Hey! You're awake.
Yeah. One of them's not. Stay here.
Gotcha.
Okay, bye.
You can't wander off alone. Where are you headed?
Nope. You have to stay here to protect
No.
Kendra's body and
Josiah
Siora.
can stay here. He's look at him. He's here.
Yeah, but
He sure is.
I mean, we did carry you all the way up here.
What? Do you need a medal?
No, I just thought we could continue to make sure you were safe. But do you even know where you are? He just sort of like holds his hand up, puts it like across in front.
Yeah.
We had to take basic combat medicine. I'm gonna have to give you a little checkout.
Please.
I need you
I'm a cleric.
to squeeze,
Nope. I'm
squeeze
just
my
gonna
fingers.
turn around and walk away.
Miss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm going this way, so bye.
Your friends are that way.
Oh, okay, then I'm gonna go this way. Bye.
Don't go anywhere you're not supposed. Well, I guess there. Good luck. Glad
Thanks.
you're awake.
Bye.
Hope you don't have a concussion.
I'm good.
And Akira dies because she has
Alright.
untreated Millicrose.
Akira, where are you going?
I'm looking for.
To the library.
Damn it! I am at a good place for a library. However, I need to speak with someone that can help me get Kendra back. So I'm looking for Roswell and Tebrin and Walsley and I don't really want to look for the Encirclist, but if I run into them, hey.
You, in fact, do not run into them. You do proceed downstairs, and there are many guards about. You see there's sort of general commotion, and there are a lot of other people that seem like they sort of serve the same capacity as Arcanists, as Karut. They're dressed similarly. Excuse me. Bremeraldi School is a bustle. There is military presence in it now. And some of them kind of like stop and sort of warily eye you. But others kind of recognize that you were here before you were brought up. And through a combination of people sort of pointing you in the right direction and telling you where they are, you do manage to find your way downstairs into the archives and notice quite a mess on the ground, items strewn about, other people in your party analyzing various things and parts of the room. And it just seems like a playground of magical items at the moment.
Ooh, fantastic place to land.
Akira, you're.
Damn it.
Oh, thank God. Where's Kendra?
Yeah. She banished me. And she's wandering around in the astral plane on a crystal treadmill because she doesn't understand how to move throughout the plane. And she's with some guy, and he's weird. And I don't trust him.
And just like uses his wrist to like check Akira for a temperature, and then like. It's like his skin comes in contact with his scales. He's like, I actually don't know what your body temperature is supposed to be. Are you?
It's warm. Okay, and look.
You don't seem well.
I'm just real frustrated because I separated myself from the Encirclist to help Kendra, and then they left, and then she doesn't know how to navigate, and then we run into some weird guy while we're trying to get to the material plane.
Did you help him?
No. I wanted to leave him, but Kendra wanted to help him. What a weird turn of events. I know, but he was weird. He didn't have a silver thread, and he kept like spinning this coin thing around his hand. And
Yeah, but did you get any insight to like, was he evil?
I don't know. He had some sort of wings or something, but they were kind of scarred and like
maybe
weird
a
broken.
celestial that could...
I don't know. I honestly don't know. He kept repeating himself. I don't even really know what he was saying, but he's with Kendra now, and they're like best friends. And like she banished me, and like I told her not to.
Devin just like slowly turns to Kurt and just goes, "Is this making any sense to you?"
Why is it always with you people?
What was the name?
I think you've known us for long enough to know the answer to that one.
Oh shit, that's a good idea, Roswell. We are in the school with lots of books, and I can go and find out who he was. Or I can I don't know, maybe
Wait.
Hang on. Am I in the astral plane right now?
I mean, I'm beginning to feel like I'm losing my grip on reality.
Whoa. Walsley, am I floating? Is this real life?
Okay, that's
is
not
this
funny
just fantasy?
because
I can't
up there.
I can't hear you, Walsley.
Casey, how long has
You're
Akira been
muted.
back?
Because you're in the astral plane. Pay attention.
Casey, how long has Akira been back?
Maybe about 5-10 minutes or so.
Alright, just keeping a counter of how long it takes for them to call on their goddess to help me.
Okay.
just want to keep track
Noted.
of it.
Should I get the Jeopardy theme song in the background?
It's gonna be a long time. Let me just say, Akira's mad.
It's just like it's just Kendra and this guy standing across from each other, and Kendra's just like rocking on her heels.
All right. Akira,
On a
can,
crystal treadmill, may I add? She had
Akira-
to create it.
Shh,
to
Akira,
walk.
Akira,
I'm sorry.
Akira, I'm going to ask you some really direct questions right now,
Okay.
and
Sure.
you're going to answer me.
Okay.
Look at me.
All right.
Okay.
Focus up, Akira.
I need
I'm
you to
focusing.
breathe in and release. And
Not too
in.
much.
Okay.
It's blood everywhere. But
That's true. Don't breathe in too hard.
You know, I'm used to it, so it's okay.
Did you think of any?
Concerning.
Were there any solutions posed to getting you back here?
Yeah, we were looking for the silver light of the material plane. You know,
Okay,
the
that's
lights.
one.
Okay.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Was there another?
Nope. Nope. That was it. He said, follow me. And I was like, hey, Kendra, we shouldn't follow him. He doesn't have a silver thread. And she didn't want to listen to me. And she wanted me to talk to
Hey.
my goddess.
All right,
Mm.
down.
Yeah, it must have been awful, somebody repeating themselves over and over again.
Yeah. It was.
So no.
Karut, thanks.
Did Kendra have any other solutions?
No, she just was like, bam, I'm gonna do this to you. And I was like, block, bam, you can't do that to me. What are you doing? And then she was like, call on your goddess to help us. And I was like, okay, but I don't want to do it with this weirdo.
Hey,
And then,
oh, time out. Let's stop right there.
okay.
That sounded like a possible problem-solving solution.
What sounded like a solution?
I do count 2 so far.
Yeah. Hang on. I am going to cast Divine Intervention because that sounded like a good idea. Hello, it's just.
Your call is important to us. Please stay on the line as a representative from Isthmus will be with you. 1 to 12 business hours.
Yeah. Hang
if
on.
you're part of Orthodox, press 1. If you're the bad guys that are also worshiping this.
Do you follow
Press 2.
a giant buzzard-like creature around?
Yeah.
Press 666 for further directory assistance.
Hey, we got a lot of other things to talk about because I got a lot of questions, but I'm waiting for a quiet moment. And unfortunately, this isn't it. But my friend Kendra, she tried talking to you once, if you remember her. She's stuck on the astral plane. And I was wondering if you could help her come back to here, to her body right now on the material plane. And
What about my boy Morganol?
Yep,
Oh,
I
fuck.
didn't tell her the name, so ha!
yeah, I don't know about him.
Your call is
You know-
important
you know
to
he
us.
exists,
Stay on the
though.
line, and a representative will be with you shortly.
You
Yeah.
do know he exists, you just don't know his name.
So I can't do it, maybe because I wasn't there, but that's fine. One of these days it's gonna work and it's gonna be important. Maybe she's just waiting for me to ask like the best question ever.
You know,
Ugh.
I'm real upset with her right now, but I...
Istis, what the fuck did she do to
No,
you?
not Istis. Kendra. I mean,
Okay, well, all of us are at least a little bit upset with Kendra at all times. It's Kendra.
yes. But
The ungratefulness from you people.
So
After I just saved Akira.
saved. She left herself alone with some weirdo.
okay, so you're sucking a lot of energy right now.
What?
And we're
Wait.
trying to deal with this stuff happening right here. I do want to
I
help
look around
Kendra.
me?
Yeah, do you see all this around us?
Yeah, this is
It's
crazy.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, it's real dangerous out there too. I'm just saying, like, there's like this darkness, and then you feel like migraine, like stuff comes whipping at you in your head, and you start thinking about bad stuff, and
I think that's
it
just.
hurts. And
I mean, that also happens if you get drunk.
yeah, but it's worse. And also, there was some guy. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, even though she doesn't deserve it. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna define a
Hey.
tradition as well.
Doesn't everybody deserve to be helped?
No,
Oh boy.
not
What-
everyone.
What's your alignment again? I'm just kidding.
If they're evil, they don't deserve it. Anyway,
I mean, evil is relative.
Go
All right.
ahead.
So what are you?
Anyway.
What are you divine interventioning before you roll?
I would like to bring Kendra and Kendra alone back to the material plane, not anyone else, because I don't know them.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
This is gonna fucking work, FYI. It's
Oh,
gonna.
I've accepted that.
I don't even remember what I
if
rolled.
this worked, both of you have been non-consensually brought out of this plane you're trying to escape from.
Jesus Christ.
Okay,
Oh
it's
man,
gonna
how
be
have we ever succeeded
13.
at anything?
damn it, it's 50. It didn't work.
All right.
I told
Fuck
Well,
you, Athena.
as odd as that is, Athena doesn't seem to answer your prayers.
What's that? Athena doesn't want to help somebody do something sort of dickish. That's surprising.
doesn't want to bring you back from the astral plane where you banished me from.
You're right, because I
All
got
right.
work to do. I gotta save my boy.
So, the rest of you, now that Akira has arrived, is there anything else you'd like to do in the archives room?
Thinking in my brain, not out loud. When we recovered the staff of elders, as I continue to say my thoughts, did I get the sense of its authenticity?
Oh.
You did not spend time to try to attune to it, so you do not know.
Wait a minute.
Didn't feel any connection to it at all.
Where is this? Shit. Where's the staff of the elders stat block again?
None of you have
Do
it.
But we saw it. at
Oh,
one
wait a minute.
point.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I think I linked it after the fact.
Yeah. Can you share it in the character share thing, Casey? Since we've seen it, and I don't want to.
There's a
Search.
piece of it
There's
they have.
information that I don't think the cookies told us.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah.
I will copy and paste the relevant part that it.
Yeah.
that-
Please.
So
'Cause
that's what I've done before.
Wasn't there? Couldn't it open a portal to another plane or something? Or is
Yes, if you crit fail, it tears open the fabric between reality.
yeah?
to
So
the-
just.
to the- Not to the elemental planes, not to the astral plane.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe if we start there.
I mean, that ups the chances, because she could
Yeah.
now get in any elemental plane thing, and then
Exactly.
find the tear in the fabric of reality in the elemental plane and get
So
there.
could you just
Man,
like
being
tear
high-level
all
characters is hard.
through the fabric of like every plane so I can get back?
Nope.
It's definitely not going to have
Nope.
any repercussions.
All right, it's gonna take me a minute.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
You don't need to share it since that's what it was.
Okay. All right. I was thinking that thought in my head. Do you want us to help clean up in here? Do you need to alert people to? Did you hide? Is this where you hid? Where you hid stuff?
Well, this is a cache of some of the most powerful magical items and artifacts that are in the Dracoran collection. It's a little troubling that those who were here were very selective in what they chose.
So they only took the staff box?
It seems odd to me.
Yeah, that's odd.
What?
Well,
I don't think I wanna
think that
know.
what we can draw from this is that perhaps Torin is aware of the staff of the elders, and may or may not have just gotten it.
It's
Hey,
unlikely that it is all the way back in Erador by now, but I suppose it is
Magician.
possible.
Oh, I'm gonna cast locate object. Oh shit! Do I have it prepared? Fuck!
Don't you
What is
guys
it?
have the staff of the elders?
Maybe. I don't feel like this is a good
Yes.
idea, but I don't know what's happening.
Shit! I have locate creature. Fuck.
Was there something you needed, Wellesley?
said there's another location since this was a dummy. And maybe you don't know where that is or anything, but maybe you could find out if other places were attacked.
I know several locations around here
With your
were.
wizard powers.
Yes.
Use that crystal, the Dragon Ball. Use the Dragon Ball.
It's
like the
not
Dragon Ball.
exactly what it's for. Although,
You make it work.
It is a good point that I should relay what we've learned and communicate. Can I trust you all to remain here for a moment?
We're very
Turn.
trustworthy.
Hey,
Alright.
hey. Is there any other wizards near us right now?
We're in a wizard school.
No, I mean like in the room.
Are you
Oh.
asking Karut or are you looking around?
I'm doing both.
I mean, there are some right upstairs. I can have someone sent down
Alright. Oh,
to guard
gave
if
us-
you're...
you gave us a little warning before, right? Didn't you? About how uncaring some people were?
I did, yes.
Just saying. If you're thinking there was a coordinated effort, one of them did something weird, and Roswell also did something weird in response. But it was weird.
Do go on. Can you be
Well, I mean, how do I?
a bit more
how do I-
specific?
Okay, so you guys, they got everyone together. They did their magic, right? And
Right.
Then something happened that was kind of magical to one of them, and then did some other magic, but that was obvious magic. And then he got up and didn't say a word and left with everybody after abandoning our folk. By the way, now they say that they. Oh, hey, Akira, did they abandon you guys, or did you
yeah.
guys? What?
Oh yeah.
Could
yeah.
they have waited?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Say, so if there's an inside job, I think it's got to be one of those idiots, right? And,
Well-
that one was super suspicious.
As
Oh, you
much
mean
as
the
they
one
are
that
on my
offered-
shit list, I'm not. I mean, their goal is single-minded devotion to gaining knowledge. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
they sort of
those types are
benefited.
never bought out by anybody. That's fine.
I suppose that's a decent
I
point.
really like him a lot.
The guy, the
No,
the
you.
suspect.
I like you. I pointed
Oh.
at you.
Yeah, we drank together. We're good. We're
That was
cool.
pretty. That was really good. It was smart. It was smart.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the magic things were, but
I'm going to
this
go
guy
touch base
said-
with my people. I will
Okay.
leave you
We'll,
here for the
we'll
moment.
be here.
just don't talk to that one guy or the other guys, the wrong ones.
I can assure you,
Okay, wait.
I won't talk to anyone.
So you think that the Encirclists, the ones that left us in the astral plane, are they're the behind?
That's what I asked, and you said
This-
yes.
Oh no, I was saying they definitely left us in the astral plane.
Better.
They could have waited for us.
They could be training favors.
Like this is
Too.
what happened. We were there, right? And we were kind of all separated, and then like we joined hands, and then shoo, we were like flying through the air,
Yeah, I had
Super
that dream too
fast.
once. I did that once.
and then bam, we hit like this warded wall, and then that one guy, he fell and got disconnected from everybody, and then the stag that we keep seeing and all the things, it could see us, and Kendra, she wasn't like near us because we hit the wall, and so she misty stepped and got even further from us, and then I went to save her.
Why
and
did
tried-
she? Why did she do that?
Because the stag was charging at her,
it was charging
so-
it.
at Kendra.
Did it seem
It-
interested in the rest of you?
Well, she was like the closest to her, and
Oh, okay.
I don't know. There was like, I don't know, maybe she recognized her or something. I don't know, but
The
So she
stag
missed a step?
recognized her.
yeah, she could see us through the astral projection. It was weird. I thought that wasn't supposed to happen, And then, so she misty stepped, right? And then she got even further from us. And then I tried to drag the Encirclists, to go and get Kendra because, and they were like, no, we're leaving now. She's gone. She's dead to us. And then they dropped my hands, and They vanished. They left us. And then, the air door kind of was gone because they weren't there anymore, and we were just in the plane. And yeah.
And then you met the weird man.
Well, after I had to explain to Kendra how to, move through the plane, she created this weird crystal treadmill thing.
Yeah, we got that.
And then yeah, we saw that weirdo guy, and he's just really strange. And I'm not going to tell you his name because I don't want you to bring him here because I don't trust him because he doesn't have a silver thread.
But
and
why
if you don't have a silver thread,
Akira, why would we bring him here? We can't even bring Kendra here.
Because Kendra she's so dead set on him, but she banished me.
Wait. Wait, that's interesting. So you can summon things from there?
Summon things?
Like a conjure, I don't know. You got a pot? I don't know how you do it. But you can bring things from there here, like monsters or whatever.
We just found him.
Okay.
We didn't create
I'm not
him.
asking that. I'm saying in general.
I'm confused by your question.
What I'm saying is if you could summon something that belongs over there, you can then send it back to go get her.
Don't look at me, I'm a bard.
Look, wizards
play
conjure
music.
things like, I don't know, wizard creatures.
Don't even
whatever.
play music that well.
I don't create things. I don't know. What? I can't hear you.
Say create.
Conjure?
Look, I drank a lot. I figured
Okay.
you could bring like a dog from there to go sniff out Kindra or whatever.
An astral dog?
Yeah. Sounds pretty cool.
It does sound very cool.
See?
I think what we're really missing here is a team mascot.
Well,
Bonnie the astral dog.
Because you guys really want another dog, do you?
God. I don't know I don't know.
Aha, Nebulin.
I don't know the answer to your question.
Well, maybe the wizards can do it.
All right. As all you guys continue to ponder the existential nature of your quandary, somebody trapped in an existentially natured quandary, Kendra, what would you like to do as you treadmill in circles with your new found acquaintance there? Kira gone. 10 minutes or so have passed.
All right. Well, she's not going to save us. So we're just going to have to go and find that silver thing. So let's go. And I again try and think about it really hard.
All right, make an intelligence check for me.
And you should think about it too. That might help. Think about the silver portal thing, and then maybe we can get us back. And intelligence check. And I'm going to Tides of Chaos this for added babiness.
All right.
19.
Excellent. So you do sort of look around and try to gather your way towards what you hope to be a pool, and you do catch a glimmering of something out in the distance, and as you focus down in on it and you think you see the sort of shining, shimmery silverness of one of these pools, you begin to move towards it faster and more kind of divisively than you have in the past. And it seems like independently Magranal has also locked in on this, and you both kind of glide your way in that direction as it slowly closes in towards you. You get the sense that traveling at this speed, it will take several minutes to get there. So he just sort of like turns and looks over at you and then kind of looks back at the portal and then looks to you and then back at it, and he's kind of like almost like counting in his head, and then reaches into his pocket again and pulls out the coin, and he flips it and just sort of spins around and it lands. And then he looks sort of back at you and closes his fist again tightly at it and shoves it back in, crescendo to the gust, forgetful, gone for a lifetime, what happened in an instant, hope affluent.
Well, it's okay. A lifetime isn't all time, so we can get you back.
The merit of a gift can be weighed only in the hands of the recipient.
Yes.
All right, and about 15 minutes pass by, and finally you sort of arrive towards the edge, the threshold of this silvery, shimmering area, and you kind of stop as you reach there, and he kind of like looks down and looks up at you. Make an insight check for me.
Okay. 7.
It's very difficult to get any sort of read on him. He definitely seems like he has the capacity for emotion.
What, is something wrong?
He sort of just like reaches out and puts his hand on your shoulder, not in like a aggressive way, and he just sort of narrows his eyes a little bit as he's sort of like studying you, and you can see the expression on his face changes a little bit. The emotion it reflects is kind of like lost on you as you're sort of not really paying attention, and he just says, "Thank you, Shay."
You're welcome. So should we go?
Hope
She, like-
affluent hurled from the defeated skies.
So Kendra like offers out a hand.
He takes the coin, sort of looks in, sort of like holds his hand out, but like not quite to yours, and he looks at you, and then he flips the coin one more time, and it goes and it lands. I need you to roll a d20.
Okay. 18.
And it lands on heads. So he takes it, closes and stuffs it in his jacket, and he takes your hand.
Nice. And then I want to think about going into the portal.
All right, and you kind of go, and as you sort of like get to the threshold of where the portal is, it just sort of pulls you down into it, and there's just sort of this like warm wash of silvery energy over you. It's not like the teleportation circles in that rigmarole, which is very sort of jarring. This is kind of like stepping into like a warm bath of liquid that's just very, very gentle, and as it coalesces you around you, just as soon as you feel yourself completely enveloped in it, you again feel sort of the sensation of breeze, and you hear the clamoring of kind of like a crowd in more of a urban setting, and you look around and you see buildings, and you look down and you see that you're standing in about sort of like calf deep water, and you hear sort of the splashing and running of water behind you, and you realize you're standing in a fountain. It seems to be in the middle of some sort of square area, and then all around you there's various groups of people. There's minstrels playing, people watching them, sort of street buskers, and all of that, and your companion looks pretty confused and a little bit kind of like shell-shocked and scared, but it looks like you've returned to the material plane. Where you exactly are, you're not entirely sure, as this is not a... Well, actually, make a history check.
History. 7.
All right. You don't recognize this place.
I'm 2 for 2 on making it back to the material plane for the astral plane.
Yep.
So like noticing that he's somewhat shell shocked. I assume I could tell that with my. Like, it's
Yeah, I
not
mean,
too-
he's kind of like his whole posture has changed. You don't really need to be insightful to
Okay.
kind of see that.
I'm gonna carefully guide him up the fountain and try and find either a guard if there is one, or just somebody not super busy and running out of the way.
Right. Well, I mean, there's lots of sort of passerbys, and some people. It doesn't appear that anyone was watching and just saw you magically appear in the fountain.
Mm-hmm.
There are people just sort of meandering. It's not like a hectic environment. It's sort of like
Okay.
casual place where there's people coming and going. Looking around, excuse me. After a little bit, you do actually see what you do recognize as Dracoran sort of city guards.
Hi. Sorry to disturb. We had a bit of a crazy night last night. Where are we?
The guard sort of looks over both of you. You're in Maudstein Square.
Okay. I assume I know where that is.
It's a location in Vesular.
Okay. Could you point me to the Bremeraldi School?
What business do you have in Bremeraldi?
I am a work colleague of Karut's.
Who's that?
Karut is one of the archmages there, or a mage or wizard of some description. He's quite important. I work for the Emperor.
Right. Mind yourself.
Right. So, the school? Direction?
She sort of points down. About 20 minutes walk that way. Head eastward.
Great. Thank you.
Good day.
Good day. Alright. Broken, you ready to go?
Sort of nods a little bit with blessed arms. I greet thee. And he just sort of looks up into the sky as he says that.
And then I'm gonna lead him there.
All right. So, is there anything you guys would like to do in the meantime aside from speak?
I have an out of character question.
Mhm.
Is Kendra in a physical form elsewhere?
Wait. No. Well, I have to be physical because the guard talked to me. But is there a second me?
Oh, one of you is more than enough.
Says, okay, we all okay.
There's no such thing as too much of a good thing.
Well, that's
You
my
are
question
no longer
for
in the
you.
astral plane.
I mean, does Siora come bounding down the stairs oh fuck, Kendra's body just disappeared?
Kendra has evaporated.
You don't hear anything.
Well, Karut left us, is that correct?
Yes, he's gone to communicate with his supervisor.
In the place with the most sacred of treasures, Karut left us.
He probably felt safe because I wasn't there.
I'm
Tebby just
there.
last session's I steal things for fun.
And wait, wasn't there I mean, it could have been other playing cards, right? But that sounded like a deck of many things
It
just
did,
lying
and I'm
there.
not fucking touching it.
There's more than one deck.
I
Yep.
definitely would have walked around, and if there's any sort of ornate cards of some sort, I
Oh.
definitely would
Oh.
have looked
God.
at it. I'm just saying.
Describe
I have my own set.
Describe to me exactly what you do with the cards.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, I
Well,
just
Tebra
wanted-
doesn't know what the fuck they are. So.
Hang on, guys. Let her do what she's gonna
Yeah,
do.
no,
Do it,
go
do it,
for
do
it.
it.
I can't wait to see what happens.
I'm ready to get her.
Well, I just wanted to look at them. Do they look like my cards?
Look at each one. Oh,
Not touching them, just You look before you touch.
looking them over. They are very sort of neatly like arrayed in this case, which is a sort of flat case. The top of it is kind of this clear glass that doesn't seem to have shattered in the tussle here. Just sort of on the floor. The top had been shut over it, but it hadn't been locked again. So looking at them through, the cards themselves appear to be very thin kind of slivers of ivory, and they have this kind of ornate, almost like fleur-de-lis type design that kind of weaves and spirals on the back. They look very ornate. The edges are chipped a little bit, and it is kind of cracked, like the top of like an old piano key. There's some yellowing there. They appear to be very old, and despite seemingly taken pretty good care of, they do show some signs of age. You get the impression, since they're being stored in a vault of magical items, that they are indeed a magical item.
But they're face down, like they're not revealing what
They are all face down.
Okay. Is there a label on these?
There is a label on the backside. And it is labeled Deck of Many Things.
Deck of Many Things. Guys, would you be mad at me if I identified these? Like, my spidey senses are tingling, and I just want to touch things.
It's labeled.
I know, but like,
They're identified for
I
you.
don't. That doesn't tell me what it does.
Is that really your most pressing matter right now?
No, actually, no. It is Kendra. Kendra's my most pressing matter, so I can hurt her physically.
I think I have new fan fiction to write.
We're just opening up the variety of ships that are available.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm. I do think I am going. I kind of want to talk to Istis again. So can you guys like cover me for a minute or 10 minutes?
Of course.
What are we covering you from?
I don't know. I gotta like cast my ritual and like talk to her.
I get it.
That's fine. I think the danger has passed.
Oh, is that a crystal ball? Oh my god.
All right, I just start casting commune. All right. So hang on. Let me put in the.
I vaguely remember. This is the yes or no one, right?
Yeah, I get to ask 3 questions, yes or no. So I start to pull out sewing and start stitching, very distinctly the Mother Maiden and the Crone. I am sticking to what I learned because I'm super disturbed what happened with the Magpa. So I make sure that I have all 3 distinctly down before I I'm just like, oh, I am with you. I'm not perverting your, okay. So my first question is the true staff of elders with me?
Do you want everybody to know the answer to this, or just you?
Can we just start with me? Yeah, I would love to know myself. Although I have a great poker face, so everybody's probably gonna know in a minute.
I guess I'll send you these one at a time.
Okay, that's okay. Do you want me to ask all 3? And oh well, no, I kind of wanted the answer to some of them.
Yeah, I'll do this first.
Okay. Okay. Is it factions from inside the Brimeraldi that are stealing artifacts?
Is this a out loud or a whisper?
Can we whisper them all? I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Okay, just because.
Is it this? What was your question? Is it the staff that's stealing, or
is it Bremeraldi's staff that are stealing the staff? Is it a faction from inside the Bremeraldi school that is trying to steal these artifacts? Is that the question? Yeah.
That could be a technically yes, or a, because inside has different meanings.
I love this game.
Yeah, I know you do. You son of a bitch.
Oh.
And then my third question is, is it being, is Bremeraldi being manipulated? Still sewing. Sorry. God, that
It's
threw
like
me
a
for
whole Afghan now.
Yeah. That threw me for a loop, Casey. Is the faction manipulating Bremaldi, or the people that broke in, the faction that broke in Eridor? Okay. I finish, and I think the embroidery that I finished is really tense and tight, and it's puckered because it's so, like, I've just been pulling those stitches like really tight. So like sometimes when I do this, it comes out really beautiful. Yeah. And this is just like you take all the threads and you just tighten them. It's kind of a mess.
It's the crone, and the crone.
Oh my God, what have I become?
There's
okay.
some answers.
There's some answers. I am just gonna, was Karut coming back pretty quickly?
He went to go not talk to somebody.
Hasn't come back yet. Keep in mind, only like a couple minutes have passed. So
at least 11.
Yeah. 10, 11 minutes. So
yeah.
You're guessing he's probably on his way back as soon as he can be.
Okay. Oh shit! I remembered what I wanted to ask him, or that was my other question. Fuck. Never mind.
Not
this
minded.
whole. Yeah. Well, let me put it this way. So have I felt like Karut has been pretty trustworthy towards us the whole time that we've been interacting with him, especially like since the temple?
Do you?
No. I mean, like insight checking him. Does he seem like, someone throughout this time? Like we've spent some more time with him. I felt like for the most part, even though when he kind of like, we made us work for the Emperor, I still kind of knew where he was coming from a little bit. Like, do I feel like, trust him and be aligned with me, or as much as possible?
You get the sense that he's not out to betray or undermine you, but he is sort of, at times his duty is competing with what you guys feel is the best interest of that. So there always is this competing thing. And you have known him to be somebody who upholds his duties to the Empire, and he takes that fairly seriously.
Okay.
But there's no sort of malintent behind that.
Okay. Like I haven't noticed a shift in attitude, I guess, just because I'm pretty insightful. Okay.
Yeah, you have a high enough passive insight that I'm not worried about that. Kendra, what are you trying to do at this? Just sort of
I'm just trying to find everyone.
Right.
Everyone or Karut, whichever I find first.
So you get back into the school itself, and you meet up with resistance getting in at the gate, although you do kind of do the same little song and dance of who you are and why you're there. And as you're there, you see Karut kind of walk past through the lobby, looking like he's headed somewhere in a hurry. And then, as you continue to argue with the guard at the front, you see him take several steps like backwards, and then look over at you. Excuse me. And then he walks over to the guard. It's all right. You can let her in. She's cleared to be here. How did you get out here so quickly?
It's sort of a. Can we all get together so I can explain it once?
Yeah, yes, that's probably good. And he kind of turns, and then the guard kind of like puts their arm up and kind of blocks your newfound friend from entering.
He's coming too.
And who is this?
This is Morgrenal. I rescued him from the Astral Plane. Have you been to the Astral Plane? Do you know what the Astral Plane is? Would you like to go to the Astral Plane?
I do know.
I
what
can
the
send you
Astral
to the
Plane-
Astral. Oh, you do. Okay. Well, he needs to come with us. He needs to come with us. He needs to.
Make a persuasion check.
Are you saying this too, Karut? I'm so curious.
Gosh.
I'm saying it to the world. 22. He needs to come with us.
Karut sort of sighs. Don't screw me with this. Let him in. And he sort of walks back. Oh, can you go get the others and bring them up to my room? We'll meet there. And he leads you back to that same conference room. And you see your body just sitting on the table there. And then as your body is there, Karut sort of looks at it and then looks back at you.
This
is the worst
pretty
possible
weird.
outcome.
Oh, so is there 2 of me, or is there 1.5 of me?
Well, there's only one way to find out. And Karut makes a fist and he punches you in the face.
Oh yeah.
I mean, does he roll an attack, or is he just hit me?
No, he's gonna. I mean, are you going to allow him to hit you in the face?
I don't want to get hit in the face, right?
Okay. Well, he will make an attack against you.
Okay. All right. I like block it with like cowering arms.
All right. As
So he
you
hits-
as you go and you go to block it, his hand just goes right through your.
Shit. Okay. This is
It was
bad.
an educated guess. Of course,
This
I've
is
never
bad.
tried to strike you.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So if I can climb into my body, which I probably can, but we don't know where. This is Morgrenal, by the way. We
With
don't know where.
blessed
his
arms, I
is.
greet thee. He's an interesting addition.
He was trapped in the astral plane. I didn't want to just leave him there.
Some things are trapped in the astral plane for a reason.
And some things are trapped there because they were betrayed by people they thought they could trust.
Morgreval, who trapped you in the astral plane? He just sort of kind of steps back a little bit. He looks at you, Kendra. He looks back, takes out the coin, flips it, circles around, lands. He looks down, and he puts it in. Worship the troubled skies and shade the breeze. Well, that settles that. Great. Do you want to give this whole body thing a go?
Well, I'm
Sierra kind
concerned.
of stands up and is like, I can only tolerate one of you at a time.
I'm okay. I'll do it, but
When do the rest of us like?
I'm slightly concerned that I then can't interact with Morganol here. Wait. I want to help, but I'm not sure how. Is there?
He looks fine. We can
Right,
take care of
but-
him. I can see him. Sierra walks over and kind of like puts her hand out, and instead of like assuringly like patting him on the shoulder, she just kind of like shoves him just a little bit.
Oh,
He's
wait.
here. It
Right,
seems like
you
he's
could-
here.
He's touchable.
I just touched him. I mean, Karut, do you want to try to punch him in the face?
Please don't punch him in
Uh,
the face. Maybe,
Uh,
tap him on the arm.
Karut reaches out and sort of like, I can feel him as well.
Okay. Oh, thank God. Oh, so Kendra's gonna go on like, I don't know, try and walk into her body or lie down on it or something.
All right. As you kind of get sort of within physical proximity, you feel that your form just kind of gets pulled down into it, so you don't have to like physically like make sure you're all like lined up, and it just sort of coalesces in. You open your arms, your back incredibly stiff, your clothing wet. It's a little bit cold, but you are back in corporeal form, and as you kind of look up and sit up, you see the doors opening and the rest of your party coming up to join you in that wonderful conference room that's gotten a lot of use, actually.
Hey guys. I
Tebber
made
looks
it.
like visibly relieved and just like strides forward and wraps an arm around her.
I give Tebrin a hug and then wave a hand out to our new person. This is Morganol. I brought him back with us.
Akira is physically shaking right now. She's so mad.
Tebber just like turns around with one arm still like kind of around Kendra and like looks at the guy and looks at Akira and then just kind of shrugs and goes, well, all's well that
I'm
ends well, I guess. Pleasure to make
staring
your
you right
acquaintance and
Casey, could you re-describe this new edition, as I was definitely zoned out when you were describing them the first time.
All right, so humanoid male, kind of ashen gray skin, matted, sort of very unkempt hair. His clothes are tattered, sort of grayish tunic, although they do look like at one point they were like very nice, very fine clothing. The other very immediate thing that you notice is the entire left side of his face, down his neck, and seemingly like all down along his arm, all that you can see looks like it is very badly sort of burned and scarred over, like there is some like exposure to fire or some sort of searing energy or something like that that injured him. It looks like that had happened a long time ago and it's been healed. And as of right now, there is no indication that there are wings on his back or anything like that.
Okay. Regardless of me not knowing the wing part, I do think I would have genuinely tried to get a beat on who this person from a different plane is. So I'd like to detect evil and good.
All right. And that just detects creature types.
Uh,
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. It's a weird... It's really poorly worded as a title.
it should be detect other planar people.
Detect people from other planes. He is not consecrated or desecrated ground.
Okay.
Yes.
He is decidedly celestial.
Well, friend, I think you might be in danger here too.
He just sort of turns and looks at you. Crescendo to a gust.
Told you he's freaking weird and she brought him here.
Akira,
What?
settle the fuck down.
No, she banished me. It's banished me.
I banished you because you weren't helping us get back, and you were just standing in the way of progress.
Not true.
I-
Not true.
I go over to Karut and I whisper, he's celestial, in his ear.
It follows. Well, welcome to Vestular. Do you have any more of a story that you can share with us, or
Tell you
perhaps a
something weird now.
haiku?
Mm-hmm.
Or,
You
Oh
guys
wait,
got a spell
show
that
him
can
your
fix the way he
coin.
talks?
Show him your coin. He's gonna flip his coin, and if it lands on a certain direction, he'll tell you information, or he won't. Do it.
I think I'm beginning to
coin.
see why he and Kendra get along.
Look, let's not be too hard on him. He's clearly been there a long time, so
Yes, a lost soul who
yes.
was in
And
the
now
astral plane for a reason, and you don't know that reason, and you brought him back with you. And I'm glad
Yes.
that you've made it back to the material plane, but I'm real mad at you right now.
Akira, I'm sorry that I'm the one that's doing the good thing for once.
You don't know that.
I don't, but
Akira,
it's about the
Akira.
intention, Akira.
So here's the thing. For better or for worse, we now have a celestial in our midst, and we know things that have been hunting celestials here. So
Mhm.
our friend may be in danger here.
Also, he turns to Roswell. What?
So, like, you ever heard of angels?
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but ish.
No, I mean the hunting part.
Oh, I'm sorry. Rewind. You're smarter than I thought. Okay.
What the fuck?
I underestimated your intelligence, Wellesley. I'm really sorry. Mostly we've been drunk together, so I mean, like, I'm kind of stupid when I'm drunk. There's
Still buzzing.
there's been these celestials that have been killed and sacrificed and lately, particularly some chronicles and others, and so that's not great. And they've even been killed here in the at the Bremeraldi school.
So it's the people who broke in.
Maybe.
It very well could be.
You don't know.
Nope.
Kurt, do you know? I mean,
I don't think the Chronicles broke in, no.
Not the Chronicles,
oh my
Karut.
God.
Come on.
I'm sorry, you all get to say incredibly dumb things all of the time. I just thought I'd try it.
No, it's all right.
It's
You're
exhausting
welcome
being
to...
the one making all of the conclusions around here.
Didn't it kind of feel good saying something dumb though?
No, it didn't. It was horribly ineffective use of our time.
My impression was that Torin had something to do with the death of the Chronicles.
There is a consistency across all of the various incursions from what I hear of this same drawing of power of force from various bodies. In one case, we believe it wasn't even from a god, and perhaps was from one of their own.
That is consistent with what we saw in Eridor. Bodies and things were being drained of their power, so it is very likely Taurin related.
There's perhaps another insight which I had sort of overlooked in the lost time that we had there, but about 5 years prior to my original time here, which is now many years ago, there was a group of students that was expelled from Bremeraldi with unauthorized experimentation in necromancy. It's not something that's taught as part of the curriculum and generally frowned upon, as it elicits very explicit and challenging moral and ethical questions, which not really the type of thing that you want students wrestling with, especially in the initial throes of exploring gifts of magic. Tend to focus on more practical applications and things that you can control.
Not to mention hormones when you're a teenager. That's a necromancy and hormones is a big mess.
Are you
I'm
speaking
just
from
saying.
experience?
I know a few necromantic spells. It got weird. Can we just move on?
I have so many questions.
I don't want to ask any questions.
Kendra's
But
right.
we'll set them aside for right now.
Okay, bye.
Hi, Mom. This is my boyfriend. He's a zombie.
So, suspect number 1, bird people. Suspect number 2, kicked out students for practicing necromancy.
Yes, although there were the deaths of 3 students, as there was a group of 7 of them, 3 of which died, leading to the expulsions of the other 4 that, for lack of a better term, they were found to be practicing what is commonly referred to as something called blood magics. It's a way to circumvent the necessity for years of training and mastering certain power.
Wait, we're just disclosing this in front of this guy over here?
I thought he was with you.
No.
He's with me.
Yeah. See? That's the difference.
At
If
any
you would
rate,
prefer, we can go outside.
what I'm telling you is common knowledge to anyone who has access to the public records and historical archives. And I should have realized this sooner, except I didn't quite connect the dots. They began experimenting with techniques to cast magics far beyond their level of training by simply pulling energy from those around them. The other members who are interested in this were willing participants, and it was determined that the extent at which they were able to do this was limited to having willing accomplices, if it were. The more intense, the higher demand the spell, the more they would pull. I think some of them got as much enjoyment from being drained as they did from actually performing the magic, and thus it was a bit of an addictive circle for them. But as they had a little bit of success, one of the 4 remaining ones, she grew so bold as to attempt to cast a wish spell. And in her attempts to do so, killed 3 of the others. And to this day, it's unclear as to whether or not the spell was successful.
What was the spell?
What do you mean? What do you mean to this day? When did this happen?
Wish.
This happened
5 years ago.
5 years ago from 7 years. 5 years ago from when I was a student here, and then
I have
Oh,
7. That's 8.
So wait a minute. Weren't you stuck in the Feywild?
yes, for 7 years.
No, but then there was more years. Wait, how confused.
Yes.
We missed
I was
7
in
years.
I
You
was
were
in the
there,
Feywild with you for 7 years, and then another 15. So 5 before I was there. So this is a fairly long time ago.
Okay, that's what I
7
was
years ago.
thinking. Yeah.
30-something years ago.
But do you have
Didn't-
any idea what the wish would have been?
There's no way to know. The wish could have erased anyone's knowledge of whatever it was.
And this is something that Torin would have been aware of as well, correct?
Indeed. Although he was not involved, he was an upstanding student. That's why I partnered with him.
Wait a second. What?
We all make mistakes.
He abandoned me in the Feywild when he was done with my location skills. We were classmates. He was the best in the class. I was the other best in the class. So it made sense for us to pair together.
Akira, whatever it is you're concocting, please stop.
I just knew there was a reason I didn't like you. That's all.
At any rate, those students were expelled, but they were not charged with the deaths, as it was decided that they were unintentional, and since all parties were willing, magic can be a dangerous thing. It's not the first time students have died, the practice of more benign magics even. So they were warned that further practice would result in other consequences from the Emperor, and they went their separate ways.
How certain are you that they went their separate ways?
Well, separate ways from us. I don't know if they...
Do you let people just go that killed other people?
Well, I mean, if you want to die, then...
We also don't know what that wish was, Akira.
Yeah, I know, but like,
Great, let's get their names.
seems like your laws were like,
I
not
don't know
right.
the names off the top of my head, but...
But we can get them, right?
You can likely find all of their names in the rolls here at the school, or perhaps even the archives. There may be court proceedings there, although it was an internal matter, so it's likely easier to check the library archives here for more information. But they were...
leave that one to Akira.
yep, thank you.
They went by the name of the Rose Thorns. It was a bit of a jab at the school itself that, as I'm sure some of you have at least noticed, the sort of symbol of the Bermeraldi school is a thorn, is a rose, and so they merely put the thorns alongside it. I wouldn't think they would be so bold as to independently come back and attack the school itself, and...
But
They
wait,
had
if
beef, somebody could use them.
but if Torin was like, you were all kind of classmates then, right? Then if Torin was a classmate of this school and they were students here, like they could know each other.
They would have been.
They could be of
students
the
here
same group,
slightly before Torin.
but he could be
but-
like a crazy fanatic follower or something, you know?
I don't think Torin is much of a follower type.
Well, I mean, we don't know that.
I'm reasonably confident. Followers types don't become liches.
Maybe that was the plan all along. I don't know. The books will tell.
Okay.
Consult the books.
After we are done here.
How'd you get back there?
Me and Morganol searched for a silver portal, which apparently is the material plane. Morganol told me what it looked like, and I trusted him, and here we are. So he could have led me wrong, but he didn't, and we made it.
I told you to look for the silver portal too. Do you remember that?
Speak like that.
About Marvel.
You hear a on the door, and
Nevermore.
there's a giant raven, which is actually a really bad thing for you, but it's not actually a giant raven. It turns out it's one of the guards, and they sort of lean in. Sorry to interrupt, Karut. The guest from Nazrael is here. They instructed you, being the ranking officer, could greet him. But it can wait. I can give him a space to at least set down his things for now. Yes, I will see to it momentarily. Thank you. Sort of shuts the door back behind him. Business goes on. Are you in need of me here still? It seems you've all recovered. No worse the wear. Our numbers are bolstered.
Can I have a word with you in private for just a moment, Karut?
Of course. You we can step outside.
I can't tell if Casey is role
No.
playing his shock or.
No, because the stream just froze.
Okay.
It's pretty effective though.
Of course.
You back?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. We can indeed try.
Okay, and I.
Step outside, perhaps.
Yes. Well, I'll be right back. So I go outside with Groot. So while we were in Eridor, this is going to sound weird and touchy, but I'm pretty sure that
God.
I'm pretty sure that Tifrael was the stag that charged me.
That's not funny, Kendra.
I'm not making a joke.
It's not possible. Torin consumed her soul as part of the ritual. She is gone and dead. Whatever
I
you
don't know
think
what-
you saw is probably a result of the traumatic experience of astral projection for the first time. There is
Maybe.
no way that Tifrael is embodied in some sort of stag beast.
Okay. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe not. I've given you the information.
I appreciate it.
If it is her, we obviously need to do something about it. If not, I don't know, is that good or bad? I don't know which is better.
If, and this is a big if, it is actually somehow connected, please promise me that you'll do nothing about it.
Okay. I'll try, but, she wasn't very happy with me specifically. Perhaps justifiably so. So, if I don't do something about it, you or somebody will need to.
When we end up in Eridor, I am confident that we'll have a group of very capable, very talented people.
Okay, perfect. That was mostly all, other than your circle are not to be trusted.
They would argue effective.
Effective in keeping themselves safe, perhaps, but
I'm
not
sorry you
keeping
got
other
left
people
in the
safe.
astral plane, but I did warn you that your safety was not
I
part of their
wasn't.
purview.
I didn't. Did I get warned? I can't remember. Tebrin said something, but he was
Tebrin
not
did pass on that part of
entirely
the
clear.
conversation.
Oh, okay.
Tebrin literally said, "Be careful of them. You can't
I
trust
can't.
them."
I can't remember which part you shared.
I
Tebrin
left
says
out-
that every 10 to 15 minutes about it.
Okay, well that's fair.
Be
But
careful, you
Tebrin
can't
has not.
trust-
Tebrin has not mentioned the thing about the Empire knowing about the Nagpa not doing anything
Oh, okay. All right, gotcha.
yet.
But with that in mind, what would you suggest we do about our newfound Celestial? Is there any way to find out where they're from, who they are?
You're going to hate this suggestion, but perhaps
Okay.
you should take a page out of Akira's book and do some research. If they are some sort of celestial being trapped in the astral plane, that likely narrows it down quite a bit as to who they could be. But, given the nature of the astral plane, they could have been there for centuries or millennia. I don't know. It could be before written history. So, do be careful. We don't need any more surprises.
Okay. Thank you, Karut. See you later.
Yes.
I go back inside.
He just sort of nods and turns. As you return back to the group of the rest of you. What would you like to do now?
So, looks like we got some reading to do.
Oh, is it?
Gross. You're
Yeah,
on
you're
your
gonna
own,
help me?
folks.
No, I'm gonna help me, and you can help you.
Well, that seems fitting because, that's how you are.
Well, I
Beads
helped
make
you.
good straws.
Look,
You know-
you had something you needed to research, and I have something I need to research.
What are you researching?
I'm trying to, find out who. I've forgotten the name. Fuck, it's a difficult name.
Mogrenal.
I would like to
Margaret.
know how to spell that.
It's phonetic, Josh. It's not phonetic.
Oh, okay.
It's a fantasy name.
So now
That's
you want to know who
extremely
he
not
is.
phonetic.
Well, I wanted to know who he was before, but you couldn't tell me.
Right, because he doesn't know. He's
Right.
lost.
That's why I'm trying to find out. Right?
And there might be a reason.
There might be. I'm gonna try and find out.
All right, let's go.
There.
Come on.
Are you coming to the library with us?
No, I mean
Guys,
just.
I would rather die.
But what
And
are you
I-
gonna do? What?
I don't know,
What else do you have to
drink.
do? But
I'm starting to lose my buzz here, so I have things to do.
No, this
That's
is a man
the-
after my own heart.
That's the best idea I've heard in a while. I
No
can
idea
think
what
of
you said.
I can think of some things we could do, Tebrin.
oh
Gross.
no.
Tebrin just kind of like raises an
Walker.
eyebrow at her.
So you mean drinking?
Yes. Drinking sounds exactly like what we should be doing now. You're all alive. That's a good day for us.
Those are the
Uh-huh.
days we've had recently.
Sure.
Actually, do have a thing or two to talk to the rest of you about.
Oh.
Not here.
At the
Is
bar.
Is this
Yes,
a
at the bar.
But what about the
The
library?
books can
I'm,
Kira.
I'm off to the library already. Me and
Oh,
walked out.
Well,
I shouldn't leave them two alone. You never know.
who are you talking about?
You can't leave Kendra alone with some mystery person. We don't know who he is.
Oh my god.
She doesn't know what a library really is.
Kendra's trying to read the books
I'm-
upside
alright.
down.
I'm currently at the bar. I'll have one library, please.
Oh,
All right. So you guys are going to the library.
Ow.
Everyone else is going to the bar. Is that what I'm hearing?
yes. I think Tebrin gets like partway through that saying that and then looks around and realizes that half the party is gone. She's like, well, I'll tell the rest of you then. I guess we'll pass it on. It's not.
Roswell, you said you grew up here.
I did.
All right, let's find a bar away from the salty tavern we were in before.
Okay. Do you want to go to a really weird one?
No.
Oh.
Eat on.
Well, that just Do you know when you're on a boat and you're sailing and all of a sudden the wind just goes out of it?
Oh yeah, yeah. Live most of
That's
my
what
life
you
out
did
there.
to me right now.
Well, I mean, all right, let's go to your bar. Let's go.
No, I'm not
Roswell,
gonna,
I'm happy to go wherever you want to go.
because there's like a place where they like serve you hooch out of like a teapot. It's kind of fun.
Please go there.
We go there.
Casey,
Off to
do
the
you-
Beehive and Blossom Tavern.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
So as you head to this place, Roswell regales you with the story of a tavern that started out as a tea shop a few generations ago. As it got passed down through the family, it evolved from a lovely sleepy tea shop serving butter cookies and oolong to bourbon and hearty buttery biscuits. But to keep their old grandmother from years ago happy, they serve their potent cocktails as a full tea service. Drinks are strong, herbal, and homey. This is often a favorite of those who want to see the bards do poetry and sing. Lively, but not rowdy. 5 out of 5 stars. Yelp review. 116 reviewers. One person didn't like the service and said, I can't get my alcohol fast enough from a kettle. Beehive and Blossom Tavern, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-huh. God, those words were so good.
I spoke right to your imagination.
You did. I mean, this is cool.
So it's all set up. It is very homey. It has that kind of like cottagey feel to it, and it's not like a bar per se. There are lots of like little tables that have nice kind of table runners and stuff on them. The chairs are very comfortable, kind of eclectic. None of the chairs themselves match. There is a tea service there, and at first you kind of get in, you're like, but as promised, the alcohol there is an assortment of things like very sort of rich, heavy meads and and there's no shortage of other sort of food to munch on. That's all part of it, and you sit at a table, pay, and they serve, and there's several tea kettles, and you drink out of the little cups, and it's very potent and very strong.
See, I would embroider some of their doilies and stuff for them in exchange for some really good service.
Actually, I don't think there's anything about that sentence that surprised me. And Tama just takes a shot from a teacup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to pretend to sip it. They know what's going on.
I'm filling my flask.
Glug, 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 glug.
It does pour frustratingly slowly.
I mean, there's nothing like this in Chora. I can confidently say.
In my experience, this is true.
And there is a bard sort of in the corner, just sort of strumming on a guitar, not really like playing much of anything, just sort of like background like chords and music behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Play Stairway.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
So as I kind of just am, just sipping away, I'm like, the staff's a fake.
All right. Guess my sister isn't good
I
at
said.
everything, which is kind of reassuring, considering my family in general.
So I wasn't sure when to tell Karut this, but kind of there were other things going on. It was a lot. So and yeah, whatever's trying to get in there and steal things is aligned with something in Eridor. So
All right, well that
mm-hmm.
I suppose that tracks.
Yeah, these are slow. It's hard.
Yeah.
Well, as long as we're sharing bad news, and Tebron just very takes the long time to pour out the alcohol and then takes another shot. The Empire knew about the Nagpa,
What's that?
the thing we fought. You weren't. This was the thing that killed our friend.
Oh.
They allowed it to roam free with the hopes that it would allow them to gather more information.
I stab a scone, just saw it open and take some clotted cream and go just angrily eating. Just so
You got a
that's
fake?
what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't saying anything profound per usual, so go for it.
So if we got a fake on
Yeah.
purpose, by some mysterious messenger who wore pantaloons outside. It was really weird. Whatever it was, I can't remember. He was a little whatever. So we just got this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You assumed it was real and it was fake, but then Happy, the wizard guy said that they had a fake in the one place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like we're being set up because if they find a fake in our possession, that's what it feels like to me. The old double cross.
Mm-hmm. Any chance that Arisha would be behind this, or do you think she got duped too?
The more time passes, the less I think I know my sister, so I as much as she may like to pretend otherwise, at the end of the day, Drayler is fallible.
Well, that's just vague. That's vague. We're all fallible, Tebrin.
Wow.
Clearly.
Made more than my fair share of mistakes recently, yes. I would prefer to believe that she was fooled the same way that we were. Because the alternative is coming to terms with the fact that my sister set all of us up.
Anyway, we should ditch it. Either way, right?
Yes, we should ditch it.
Absolutely. The water seems like a great idea. Or maybe we could just put it into a forge or something. Melt it down. Yes.
Oh man. So if the bad guys gave us the fake to get us in trouble or to divide us or whatever, then it's not gonna. No, I guess because if they think maybe they have the fake, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Trust me, they would absolutely know they had the authentic thing.
If they had it though, according to what you had said before, isn't it already too late for everybody and everything?
Well, no, I believe that the true staff of the elders is elsewhere. It's not in our hands, it's not in Torrent's hands.
So if they're smart enough to snoop us out, right, and then drop a fake on us to set us up, what if we like make for somewhere with great haste? They'll be like, why are they going that way? Maybe they got something important. We could draw them out. Is what I'm trying to say. Use the thing they gave us as bait for the people who gave us the thing. It makes more sense in my brain.
My understanding of this situation is that is simply that my sister stole the fake before they managed to try to steal the fake.
But do we know that?
No.
Kurt didn't confirm that the other one had been stolen. We just knew that this one.
Correct. He doesn't even know where the other one is.
But there's been other break-ins.
There have been other break-ins in the Bremeraldi school.
Uh-huh.
I think it doesn't make sense for the Empire to put both the staffs in the same place. And besides which fact, the Bremeraldi school has a vault full of magical artifacts, so it's an incredibly obvious place to store something like the Staff of the Elders anyway. Something I should have thought of in the first place.
There's a lot of things we should have thought of in the first place.
Hey, how many people knows what this staff even looks like?
Quite a few, because like when we took it out of the temple, the Emperor saw it, all the guards saw
enough
it.
to make a fake?
The military saw it.
Whoever made the fake saw it.
Whoever made the well, we don't see. Here's the thing: we don't know who saw it after we. Oh, but
Yes.
time out. Ooh, time out, Tebrin.
Yes.
All right. So we brought it out of the temple. We had it there for a little bit. It got put into a box. Now, granted, that box could have been opened to inspect it to make a replicant, but it might be fair to say that who's ever in that bigger chamber could have been someone who saw enough to remake it.
Yes, I mean, we don't know for certain that the box was opened after we handed it over.
Oh, so let's just pretend everything's working out in our favor. Clearly, this never
there's
happened to you people, but I've had a run of really good luck until I lost my ship recently.
Oh.
That's a different story.
We can get you a new ship, probably.
Well, I'm working toward it. Where was I going with this?
I don't know.
Teapot. Oh, hey. So if you check those names of those missing school people, I bet that'll match up with one of the old people at that meeting.
Ooh,
Or
wow,
I'm drunk.
that took a lot out of you, didn't it?
Or I'm drunk. Or both. Or neither. No, I'm definitely drunk.
So,
At least one of those two things was happening.
based on my memory, do I remember the names of the people that were there?
At
The
the
yeah,
little like debrief meeting. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah.
I would say that you didn't know every single person in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the obvious ones were everybody in your party.
Uh-huh.
Ciora was
Kendra.
Ciora was not there.
Right.
The Emperor was there.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is there?
Commander.
The 2 or 3 of the Emperor's advisors were there. The commander was there, whom you met on several occasions, the female commander.
Wasn't there like an archmage?
I'd have
Like
to go
from
back.
Grimaldi?
I'd have to go. Yes.
Yeah.
What's his name? Arcanist Stottle.
Thank you, yeah.
Who else was there? Karut was there.
Effie.
Affy was there. And then there was a handful, like 4 or 5 guards as well. I can go back and check my notes too.
Mm-hmm.
See if we're missing any key people.
Okay.
So, I mean, there was probably like, all said and done, 15 to 20 people in that room.
So maybe we get their names and maybe something matches, or there's a family relation.
Yeah. Ooh.
You know what I mean? Because one person in your family's bad, the whole family's bad.
Oh god.
Usually.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
That is the moral of this multi-year campaign.
Those damn Havels.
I don't know, they'll tell us is.
Aren't you a dragon?
Please, you haven't even met the bad ones.
I know that sounds really reductive logic, but this is one of the closest things we've gotten to possible lead. I just don't know where to go from here. I'm a little at a loss.
The book ladies figure it out.
Oh, that's true. Because
Yes, we are
anything
going...
Akira figures out is absolutely logical, and we should absolutely do it.
Yes. We'll get more information from that. It sounds like we have at least somewhat of a backing to go to Eridor.
Mm-hmm. Without the staff, that's cool. I mean, we can totally do it.
I don't know. I mean, do you want to stage a heist on
No,
the most powerful empire in the world?
it's just hard thinking that twice I had something that was mine. Not just like in the all-powerful thing, but that tied me to my past and my heritage, and it's been taken away from me twice.
I know, and it's somewhat galling to have an artifact like that in the hands of the Empire that drove most of its creators to extinction. But
Oh, yeah, that even rubs it even worse. But
I don't have a solution. I just don't.
But I also don't think that it's with the Empire right now.
Are you certain?
I mean, so when I talked to Istis earlier, she told me that this one was a fake, that the school is a pawn in this game, and that the faction that was after trying to steal the staff is located in Eridor. So,
but those pieces of information don't necessarily add up to Torn has the staff.
oh, I'm just saying the Empire does not have the staff.
Well, I'm not certain that that's a conclusion that we can draw. The Brimeraldi school being pawns in all of this, sure, I mean, they had a fake staff. And they're clearly being manipulated by whatever this Eridor-based faction is, but I'm not sure if we have enough information. I mean, it could be very true that the Empire doesn't have the staff. I'm just not sure if we have enough information to make that conclusion.
You're Dracoran, right, Roswell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brimeraldi School. Big famous name. Powerful, blah, 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 blah. Who else is like that? That would have the real one.
Who? The Unity? Wait a minute.
I don't know. I'm not.
No, that's a good. But I mean, like, based on what Roswell knows of Jakora.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a secret place no one knows. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's if we want to know where the staff is, or that would be really awkward. Though, knocking up. Are you guys sure you have it? Like, no.
Right.
We just wanted to check in. I know we're not supposed to know where this is, but
What, can we
Do you
just
wanna-
see it?
Like, do you want to buy a decoy? I missed it so much. I made a decoy.
yeah, just like don't ask us where we got it. Just.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so your conversation winds on into the evening, and the two of you, in doing all of this, head through the halls of the Brimeraldi School off to the archives there, which you walked through originally, kind of on your way in, so you kind of know your way back there. And as you're heading there, you see Karut sort of walk out and walk past you. He just kind of gives a nod, and one of the guards sort of stops as they kind of pass, and the guard's like, "Everything all set there?" Yes, our guest is all taken care of. He's settled now. I'm going to retire for a bit. It's been a very long day. The guard kind of nods, and they sort of head off their separate ways. And as you go down, there's one sort of door that's slightly ajar out on in the hallway, because there's this kind of like long hallway of offices and stuff. And as you're walking by, you look in, the door's just sort of open a crack, and on the corner of the desk in there, you see a small black pair of circular spectacles. And that is where we're going to end tonight.
Is that... I mean, I don't know who that is. I can only guess of the people that we've ever met before. The only person we've ever met that is still alive is Kingsley. I just want to know who it could be.
Fuck me.
But I don't remember if he had glasses or not.
He 100% did.
Nice.
That was an entire plot point in the original visit to the manor.
I gotta be honest. His glasses were the least important part of it to me.
I am like 90% sure. Where did my damn Orisha notes?
Nice. Good to see my boy Kaner's back.
I hate this.
Kane
He has
Slice.
too many boyfriends.
Well, he's not a boyfriend. He's just a bro.
Is this better?
He's just a.
I'd
It's
like to
chill
think that
Terrible,
Celestial
terrible
keeps
man.
following you around, and you'd be like, "Oh, Kingsley, well, this is awkward."
Well, she needs enough different boyfriends, because if you could do a love triangle, that's fine. But if you originally made a pact with the Fiend, you need to make a love pentagram, and then once you have that, you're good.
My goal is to have a boyfriend from every plane.
Well, we're getting close.
I'm
here.
not looking forward to the plane of fire.
Here is my description
Could be
from
hot.
the original, when we were originally in the manor. It was one of the first memories that we saw. Young man, early 20s, circular glasses, carrying a satchel,
Boom.
bursting
There you
out
go.
of the front doors.
Good to see Kingsley again.
Cool. Well, thank you all for playing. It was
Hell.
certainly an interesting episode.
I don't want this. Put that back where it came from.
We will see where all of this goes, but there's
You
a
don't
little bit
technically have to
of
touch it, do you?
intrigue ahead. And we get to start next episode with everyone's favorite thing, the library. Cool. So thank you all for watching. It was great. If you haven't already, check out the website, ROLL20SPOTLIGHT.net. Cool blogs and stuff there. And as always, all of our previous episodes, except for the ones that we forgot to upload, are on YouTube, which is most of them. So you can go back and watch all the way up to the progression of getting the staff of the elders in this. If you haven't seen those, it's great. And you have the added benefit of being able to fast forward. So
That is a huge.
it's a huge benefit. Which we
Knock
can't,
out like a
What do
few
you
hours.
mean you
Can't
don't like
do in real
listening to
time.
us argue?
yes. And obviously follow us on the social medias if you want to keep up on the thing that happens once a week at a predictable time. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back again next week. Thank you to Roll20 for your continued sponsorship. It's awesome. And yeah, until next time. Timur, what's our tag outline this time? He's muted.
I am not muted.
You are now not muted. What's
I wasn't
our
muted.
what's
I
our
said
tag outline?
It's no.
No. Till next time. No. But really, yes. Come back and see us.
Stay in school, fool.
No. No, I like no better. All right. Goodbye, wonderful folks. We will
What the
see
fuck
you
did
next
you drink
week.
tonight? What is in your coffee?
She drank some of that evil tea.